Hello, dear viewer, dear listener. Surprise! It's a live pod. Oh, I need a breather now. It's a live podcast. At least I haven't got my my thing not muted. Oh, yeah, there's lots of people in the chat box. Right, it's just going to be me and Kris for now. We were waiting for John, but I think John's been held up at work and might well be held up in traffic because he has a job, unlike me, and he has to go and do these things. They're more important. Anyway, Kris, how you doing?
Oh, I'm all right, Danny. I'm all right. How the devil are you?
Fat, bald. I've had a wee, and I've got two heaters on, and I could well pass out from too heatness. Any of that very soon.
Good times. Yeah, yes. I can't say I'm better than that, other than the fact I haven't yet peed myself, and hopefully that continues to be the case.
Excellent. How are the cats? See, they're behind you.
One is, yeah. Tom's fast asleep. Bob is in the other room on his. I've got a spare duvet that's just left on the floor, and he snuggles up on that.
I love it.
And as you said before we started recording, happy Alien Day and happy Alien Week to all my nerds out there.
Yes, nanu.
All four of them. So yeah, good times.
And as there's no one other than us, the camera's just gone wonky. As there's no one other than us here, Betty's there, Dora's there, Bergkamp's down there, and Lily is probably under Sean's bed somewhere because maybe an owl farted half a mile away, and so she's had to turn and run away. Have you got the link to the YouTube thing there? Are you looking at it?
I've got it up. Yes, I've got it, and the YouTube as well. Yeah.
Mr. Holic is there.
I just noticed him.
Yes, there's quite a few people at the moment are having problems with YouTube Hangouts. Joe Rogan has stopped doing live shows because the YouTube is a turd. Craig over at the Same Old Arsenal was having issues. Tom's been having issues with his one. So lots of people. So if this does go wrong, it's not us. It's YouTube.
It's you.
Not us. We can go to our site and see how many millions of pounds on our account on the YouTube that we have been paid from YouTube, and it's just usually a number with hundreds of zeros after it. That went up by all of them went up by 50% the other day, and I thought, oh gee, where's all this money going? It was an error. It's all gone back down now. So I thought, that's it. I'm going to retire to somewhere warm. Didn't happen. I suppose we should say hello to some of the people. I accidentally pressed the wrong button earlier and opened the thing. And so there's been people there like Arsenio Wonga. He's been there for ages. And then Brandon, Jason, Grosso joined in. And I said, we're going to be about 10, 15 minutes. Half hour late, we're still going. And who else has been in there? Formerly Noza says Carpenter in.
Yeah, that's rare.
Mm-hmm. Kieran says, hey. Pat Brady says, hello, everybody. Moshin Ali says, hello. Obito Uchaya says, odds of 22-9 for Ajax to win the first leg.
Oh, yes. We'll be keeping tabs on that, won't we? Which I know everyone hates, but...
Obito has just said they put £100 on it. And Arsenio says put 1,000 on it.
I'm not putting even as much of a pound on it. I made my money at the weekend, so I'm sitting pretty tonight. But I hope that Ajax and do it for Dennis and Mark and Nwankwo and any other former Ajax players that we had. I think that's the three, isn't it? Yeah. So
in any more than that.
I don't know. No, Van Bronckhorst was PSV, wasn't he? So,
yeah. Didn't we get some Sonny, a bloke called Sonny, who was a striker? We got him from Holland. He was really good, and then he got homesick, and we had to let him go.
You're not thinking of Daniel Marlon, are you? The young lad who went back to PSV?
That could be the one.
Maybe. I can't think of the only Sonny I think is Sonny Anderson.
Yeah, that's Leon, the Brazilian legend.
we should actually say at this point, shouldn't we, to the chat, if anyone's tuning in for a full diagnostic on everything to do with Arsenal, you're probably tuning into the wrong show. We will be talking some Arsenal. We'll probably do that in a minute. But so that, in fact, we should probably talk Arsenal first, so that then everyone who's listening or watching this just wants to see that, they can do that, and then they can go and get on with their lives when we talk about waffle and bollocks. So
I'll just say hello to a few more people in the chat box. Our very own Mr. Holic is in there, and who else? Arsenic Gunner. Hello, fellas, with an E. I like that. So there's only 24, 25 people watching now, but
Gemini Jedi. That's a good name. I like that.
What, is there someone in there with that name?
Gemini Jedi, yeah. Spurs are losing 5-0. That's what he or she has said.
Excellent. Well, the game hasn't started for me, so you're going to be about, because you've got the official content. I may have non-official content. Still HDs, but I'm going to be about a minute and a half behind you, so don't let it out.
I get the official content of Darren Fletcher and probably Steve McManafany, who is horrendous. So that will be good. And of course, all for the low price of about £30 a month for BT Sport. Good job, BT. Yeah.
Absolute scumbags.
So
Holix tweeted us live. Are you mad? Yeah. Do you like the title of the show?
It's good. Yes,
Yeah.
I see what you've done there. Yeah, the pirate and the GFP, and us. Yeah, I do like that.
Oh,
it almost makes us. Oh, have you edited it? Have you?
Yeah, I've changed it now. It's because John was meant to be joining us. It's now called "All Our Eggs Are in the Europa League Basket."
Ah, I like that. Did we drop the basket?
I think the basket was stolen.
Right. A lot like our defence at the weekend, then.
Yes. Gemini Jedi. Yeah, we thought we'd do this because you've had 3 consecutive live ABW live shows, and it's been an absolute nightmare because we have been hammered in each game, and the whole of Arsenal Twitter is having a nervous breakdown. Oh, Matt Hudson, hello. We're having a breakdown because it is officially the end of the world. Did you realise it's the end of the world?
What? Sorry, do I think it's the end of the world?
It's the end of the world. Because
am I ready?
3 in a row.
No, I don't. You know me though. I'm always positive. I've always got a cheery disposition in life. No, I mean, I'm still fairly laid back. I'm still confident. I have a little theory of what's going to happen here. We're going to decide that we're playing at home on Sunday, I presume, Europa League. So I have a feeling we'll probably turn up, smash Brighton all over the place just to make Josh unhappy. And then, what is it? Chelsea are playing Watford, aren't they? Chelsea. So they'll draw with Watford. They'll lose to Leicester. And I think we'll draw with Burnley. And we'll probably squeak it by a goal. Sadly, the Cockerels on their golden basketball are probably going to take third. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to lay my hat to rest that I didn't get the prediction right of third. But, it's a shame, really. I saw a tweet, actually, the other day. I can't remember who it was. Apologies if you're watching. You're probably not. But and they said that Aubameyang penalty against Spurs. I'm sorry, I just can't let it go. And I did sort of like a little wry smile as I just did there, and thought, yeah, could have been so different, couldn't it? If that had gone in, we would have probably been above them. In fact, we'd have probably been about 8 points clear of them by now because of the momentum that would have given us. But then, if the cat hadn't stopped for a pee, the dog wouldn't have caught it, and all that. So. I think we'll be all right, though. What do you think? Are you pessimistic? Are you panicking? Or
I don't really mind. It'd be nice to finish above them, but when you consider how much money Man City and Liverpool have spent, no one's going to catch those. Man United have spent an absolute fortune, but they're a disaster club playing players like Sanchez, £2 million a day or whatever he's on. And when you have teams
just brought something up that I want to touch on. Carry on.
Oh.
You just reminded me. Sorry, carry on.
I mean, look how much money Fulham spent in the Premier League at the beginning of the season. They spent more money than us. They've been relegated. But there again, look at that, 3 back-to-back wins for them. And with Callum Chambers, the new best English midfielder in the world, he's doing wonders there. But I don't really mind. I expect nothing from this season. Unlike a lot of people on Twitter, they're going absolutely mental. But I did this tweet the other day, and it's had a surprising amount of traction. And
I saw this. Yes.
Yeah, here we go. I put Arsenal fans need to remember 4 things. 1, Emery had a run of 23 games unbeaten. And they're going, yeah, so what? That means nothing. No, it doesn't. It means it was good. It means there is something there. Then I put we had won 10 straight home league games. That's fantastic. The best Wenger ever did was an 11, a 12, and a 13. So in his first season, bloody good. And they said we have played 8 games in 27 days. That's 1 game every 3 days. That is the reason why we started off April doing really well, and we've ended April on our arses. You could see coming in the last 20 minutes, half hour of a game, when we conceded so many goals, all of our players are fucked. And then the 4th one, before this bad run, we had 6 clean sheets in 7 games. Now that shows all those things that we have something there. We have cohesiveness, tactics, and also it doesn't help that the fact that we've had 3 different tactics in the last 3 games because he's got trying to fit so many players into such a short amount of time with a European semi-final coming up. So come on, people, get a fucking grip. That's it.
I mean, yeah, I agree. I think it's difficult because I'm probably I get at the people that that go on the negative, like full blown. I had a conversation with somebody on Twitter earlier today that I probably wrongly quoted his tweet last night and said that this is what's wrong with everybody in our fan base. And I don't need to name the person. I got no beef with that particular person. He's a fairly high profile Arsenal Twitterati. So I probably went about that the wrong way. But I just have this real issue with people that sort of dig out stats to prove a point. And yeah, I know stats are part of the game, and I get that. And I also have a bit of an issue with the people that they're constantly comparing us all the time. Well, in 1973 at 2:15 on the 4th of November, we wouldn't have won that game. Look at the side we had. And it's like, yeah, but you're comparing against things that are completely different eras, completely different management. And there's a growing amount of people that are we're starting to become a bit Spursy, in our fan base, and I don't like that.
Ish as well.
Yeah, a bit. If it ain't broke, let's break it. And I'm not going to sit here and say that Unai Emery is potentially the next big manager that's going to bring back the Premier League trophy and all that. But he's in there to do a job, and he can only do the job that he is able to do with the money he's been able to use for it, if you will. Somebody put in the chat, I think it's Benares Hussein, I think said, I'm trying to find it now. We've got an owner who has 8.5 billion, needs to spend the cash. And I know we've done that to death. We don't need to go into depth on that again. But
it'd be nice if he could stick his hand in his pocket every now and then.
Yeah, he's exactly right. But the bigger point to that is I see the same people that go on Twitter and basically type by smashing their head against the keyboard. At least that's how it seems. They're the same people that are saying all of a sudden now, well, I wouldn't trust Emery to spend the money even if he got it. Well, you can't have it both ways, And I noticed the most recent thing that everyone's bashing him. Oh, Denis Suarez. Well, that worked out well, didn't it? I don't trust the Spanish fucking Neil Warnock now. Come on,
Spanish Neil Warnock.
Do you know what I mean?
Did someone say that?
Yes, I did read that tweet. By the way, it's not as good as the pyramid pennant, as I call Salah, but yeah, it's
the
just
Egyptian Walcott.
Egyptian Walcott. I just think it's I get that I probably troll a little bit in the extent that I go uber positive and everyone goes uber negative, but I just maybe I'm just getting old. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, maybe I'd have been that guy that if Arsenal lost on a Saturday, I'd beat the missus, I'd smash the cats around. I wouldn't really, if anybody's watching this in the police force. Metaphorically, you'd kick the cat and whatever. Now I just go, there we go. I mean, because I always expect the best. I always hope for the best, but kind of expect the worst, and then you're kind of in a bit. Maybe I'm partly what's wrong with it because I kind of lower my expectations. But as you've said, the top two are away and gone. They're in the distance. We're in a three-way, arguably four-way dance for one spot or two spots.
We're in a four-way avoid the top four. It's not weird.
Yeah, and it's so funny, isn't it? Under Wenger, it was deemed as call fourth place a trophy levels, and it's like now apparently people actually I've seen people, some quite high profile people again that have said they'd rather top four than European trophy. I don't know what universe we're living in, but to me that's madness. If we lose 8-0 to Brighton and 74-0 to Burnley, but win the Europa League, I couldn't give a toss. Yeah. I'd be. The game is about glory. Remember that, Tottenham? But yeah, for me, it's about winning trophies and making progression. And the time to judge Unai will be over the summer. And throughout the course of his contract, not after 8 months, 12 months, 6 months, because he hasn't been given the funding or the time to mould his own squad. And I've seen a few people say, well, he's had some of his own players. Yeah. And the ones, I think, on the whole, that were clearly his signings have done well.
Torreira.
Yeah. People say about Lichtsteiner, he wasn't an Emery signing. He was already there. It was done before he came. I think, to be fair to those people who say that, I think Emery gave it the nod and said, yeah, that's fine. But it wasn't his particular signing. Torreira, Guendouzi, and who was the other one? Socrates. I think they were the three that he wanted. I don't know. As I say, I'm probably the wrong person too far the other way to be defending people that stay positive. But I do just think that some people they find comfort in pain in a weird way. If everything's doom and gloom, that's the best way, so we can all vent and have a go at everybody else. And don't get me wrong, I completely understand those people that want to and I get this tweet every week. If I say something positive, well, the shit we're watching, the people paying their money, we've got every right to vent how unhappy we are. Yeah, you absolutely do. But then don't get on my case when I say you're part of the problem, because that's my right to vent that as well. Do you know what I mean? It's tit for tat. So, it is what it is. We're not 14th, are we? Like you said, expectations should be here, not here, or not even there. They should be here, because that's where we are. We're a Europa League upper mid-table club right now. Facts. Yeah.
How often does a manager come in and look what Pep did? Pep the fraud. Look what he did in his first season. He didn't win the league, and he had more money than baby Jesus. For a new manager to come in, we are a Europa League team. For a new manager to come in and have all of Wenger, you're Wenger in, I was Wenger out. And so it's not like I'm blind to Emery or any of that lot. I just think you can't judge a manager in one season. Once he's had a couple of, everyone says that a few transfer windows, that's what he needs, to bring in more of his own players, to get out the players that don't work in his system. Yes, admittedly, like if Jace was here, we'd be banging my head against the monitor going, but he wasn't playing Ramsey at the beginning of the season. I think Ramsey slightly adapted his game. Ozil he's shown Ozil the cold shoulder, and then Ozil has realised, hold on, I'm going to have to pull my socks up here. I'm not going to be playing week in, week out because I'm the manager's favourite anymore. I've got to earn my place. And I think he's done the right thing with both of them. It's just a shame that he didn't realise, and the formation didn't realise, that Ramsey can play in that 10. Because Ramsey, as we all know, isn't a 10, but he plays better in that 10 than Ozil does. Imagine if we'd had Ramsey in that slot all season.
Yeah, I agree. And don't forget, there's comparisons being made. The German Basel Fawlty took 2 years to get Liverpool where they are. That didn't happen overnight. And let's also not forget they're two big, high-profile signings that have arguably transformed their whole defence.
Virgil.
Yeah, what's that? 180 million for two players?
A situation where he just went to the board. I want that player. Go get him. Didn't even. I'm going to go drive down there myself, taking him out to McDonald's for a slap-up Happy Meal. No, I want him. Go get him. I don't give a fuck about the price. Wenger was always, I'm going to pay this much. Is that too much? How much will I get back for him?
And do you know what? Fair play to him for that. I'm not.
He cares about the long-term future of the club, whereas Klopp doesn't.
Yeah, and I think as well, the thing with Klopp as well is, I joke slightly. He's a very good manager, but he's an extremely good man motivator. He's got things out of those players. Some of those players, I don't think certain other managers would. And I think,
making him look like LA.
And the biggest thing that Klopp has done at Liverpool, and it's actually really clever PR from him, I think, is he's got the bin dippers. They love him. He got on side straight away, and you know what? Fair play to him.
That he wears.
yeah, that's what it is in the caps. But what he did is he came in and he took the time to learn about the history of Liverpool, meet with locals, be in the area. I think he went drinking, didn't he? A few nights in different pubs. He basically looked at that and he went, I want what I had in Dortmund. I want to be, because he loves the cameras. He wouldn't deny that.
Yeah.
But he's turned that to his advantage, and all the players, they love him and the staff love him, and he's Mr. Happy Smiley. Behind closed doors, I bet he's an absolute arsehole. But the facts are the facts. He still hasn't actually won anything. And it's the same with that Argentinian fraud at Shite Hart Lane. They haven't won anything, So if Emery, or for that matter, Sarri, who, let's also forget, is being hounded out of Chelsea every other week, if they come in and win a trophy in their first season, well, hang on a minute. We're all lauding Klopp and Frauditino. Well, what about the others? I think you have to. At least Guardiola has actually won something. Yes, he's basically bottled every big game he's ever had to manage. But
I was telling a friend of mine the other day that no one cares what Man City win. You can win the Premier League and the FA Cup and the League Cup and the Champions League 10 years in a row, and the Charity Shield, and you can even have the Mkhitaryan tournament if you want, and the Emirates Cup. No one gives a fuck that you fuckers are winning all that stuff because you're the spoilt brat in the playground who comes in every day with all the latest Pokemon cards. You just go out, you buy everything, and you've not achieved anything by winning it all.
No, you're the
owners get bored and leave.
You're the FIFA Ultimate Team pay to win account.
That's it.
You've stolen your mum's credit card and you've gone,
It's exactly that. And so no one gives a fuck that you can win it because you haven't earned it. Chelsea, they did kind of go about it the right way. They did invest in the squad and they were buying out players. I mean, look at the Adrian Mutu kind of deals where they were getting robbed left, right, and there again. So Man City got robbed with Robinho, didn't they? Yeah. They were doing it. But now it's just, plus they're both in trouble, Chelsea and Man City. They're going to might both have transfer bans. But when we want a player, and then they go, we'll agree a deal for 40 million and 100 grand a week. And they go, we'll give you 50 and 200 grand a week. You can never compete with that. So you either try and bankrupt the club or you just let them get on with it. Go on, you take all your toys, you fuck off, you try and kill the game. And when your owners go, nah, we're not doing it anymore. And then you end up doing what Chelsea are doing and dropping down the leagues because your owner isn't investing money anymore and you're under no end of scrutiny. So do what you want. It doesn't matter. Arsenal are not going to win the Premier League. In no time soon. Liverpool aren't going to win the Premier League. If Pep stays at Man City, they are going to spend even more money next season because all he wants to do, once he's won the Champions League with Man City, if he does, he'll be gone.
He'll be off. Yeah, I agree. And I'm amazed he's still there now because he usually does get burnt out.
3 years, isn't it?
But
3
I just
years,
think that
then a year off, and then he goes to another country.
I love this from Mr. Hollick. Did you see that? I've got a mate who's a huge Chelsea supporter, as am I, a Gooner, and he will not set foot in a bus stop until Surrey's gone.
In a bus stop?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, because I think that the whole premise is that he's making a stand, isn't he? He's saying, I'm refusing to buy into.
What's that got to do with bus stops?
I don't know what it's got to do with bus stops. I was just chuckling at the first bit.
Oh, I've analysed it. I'm looking deep into that message and going from there. But yeah, no.
Maybe I've missed. Maybe I've missed something. I don't know. Maybe I've missed something there.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just think. Oh hello. Oh hello Ajax. Oh hello 1-0 Ajax. Oh lovely.
What minute are you at? I'm at 13.
Lovely. 14th minute. It looked like it was a mile offside, which I really hope it wasn't. And is that Danny van der Beek? All is well with the world.
So can you pause yours?
Ladies, stand down. All is well with the world once again. Oh, the bus stop in Fulham. Sorry. Thank you, David.
Oh, yes. Sorry, Holly. We should have realised that's all it is. It's just a small club from Fulham.
Went completely over my head.
Can you pause it?
Yeah, but then that takes away all the fun because our viewers are all watching along with me. So it's just you. It's just you. You're behind the times.
It's 0-0. I refuse to believe.
I could troll you. You immeasurably.
For the next hour.
It's 6-0 already. Oh my God.
The bastards. Harry Kane's been dragged onto the pitch and beaten to death.
Oh God. Did you see that? Did you see that video of that guy who did an imitation of the Instagram Kane video? Oh, that was so good. He had the West Ham game on the background when Antonio scored. And he looks to camera. He's like, "Yeah, come on!"
Hold on. Ajax on the attack here.
Do you think they might score?
He played a dummy. He did what people do to you on FIFA because we can mention FIFA because no one can stop us. Yeah. He did a dummy, didn't he?
He did, and then he pinged it past Huge Lloris, who was probably 3 sheets to the wind. Yeah. Happy days.
He'll be driving the coach on the way home.
we should go back to Arsenal before we get thrown off the air. Yeah. I've got a debate for you.
Oh God.
And it's not the sort of debates that John has with himself late at night.
No.
It's
no wet wipes needed after this debate.
No, certainly isn't going to be a mass debate. But there's a little lad who used to play for us who's Chilean. You might remember him, like dogs.
I do. I know what you're going to say. Go on.
I put out a tweet the other night, which, much like your banger, I was quite surprised at the traction I got, and
got more traction than a tractor with big wheels in the mud.
In the Farmers League, arguably. It's and I think I can't remember it word for word. You can dig it out if you want, but it was basically I was just saying that in an unpopular opinion, as is the thing you have to. That's what all the kids say these days.
Yeah.
I said.
Do you want me to cut and paste it so you can read it exactly?
If you want, yeah. I mean, I could just not be lazy and. Oh, lovely. Okay, so I'll read it out to all of our dear listeners. I said, hang on, no, you've just. Did I? Oh yes, sorry. Yeah, that is the right tweet. Yes. So I said unpopular opinion. Arsenal miss and never replaced Alexis. Don't at me with he's been shit at United. He has, yeah, 100%. But in our colours, he provided the threat and the drive, especially away from home. He changed games. Sadly, his ego and greed led to his self-imposed toxic exit. I just wanted to know what your thoughts on that were, Danny, because he was a player who divided our podcast group, wasn't he, for long periods? There were those in the corner that he was a bad influence behind the scenes. He held the ball too long. He gave away the ball. I actually was on a lot of that, to be fair. I think Dom made a really good several points about how much he turned over the ball, and I agreed with everything Dom said. But at the same time, looking back with sort of fluttery eyelashes in the way that we probably did against, even Fabregas or Van Persie even, you can sort of see what a player like that would do in this current Arsenal team, wouldn't it? It would just give us that thing we don't have anymore, that directness. Yeah, and that explosive, yes, he was a selfish, greedy twat, but he won games, sometimes on his own, didn't he? And he made Messi a better player as well. Which people overlook, I should say.
But Alexis is the best player we've had at the Emirates. Yeah.
So it's hard to argue. Yeah,
I'd have the likes of Santi Cazorla.
Certainly one of them. Fabregas is another. Yeah,
Fabregas. And,
but then could you say Henry, because he was still technically there?
Well, he finished in the first season. I was at that game when he limped out against PSV, but carried on playing. Went the last time we're ever going to see him play.
In the Emirates era, then I suppose you're going to say,
Well, he's definitely up there, top 5. And then someone else put something funny.
Was it Tottenham's defence?
Someone put something about Iwobi. Where is it? Oh, Archie, but anybody better than Iwobi, that's for sure.
See, I don't agree with that. I think he gets a rough deal.
Do you
know what though? What Formerly Knows has put there is a really good point. I think James Gunnerblog said the same thing. Was it James? I think it was. And they said that no, it wasn't. Sorry, it's Tim Stillman who said this. When we signed Gervinho, he was exactly the sort of player that we were looking for. Unfortunately, he was terrible, but he was that direct running, chalk on his boots. The only problem is he generally sort of ran the ball out of play rather than do anything productive with it. But Iwobi's not really that type of player. Mkhitaryan's definitely not that type of player.
Oh, God. He was once against Everton, and then he just decided that's it. That's my highlight reel at Arsenal.
Yeah, but I think Iwobi in a long, far off, distant future, I think he's a really good number 10. I don't think he's a wide player.
I mean, people say that he's quick. For me, the most important thing is he reads other players and he turns them inside out.
Yeah,
he's still so young though. People forget he got playing for us when he was 17. He's the 6th most appearance at the club. And he's just got when you've got pace and he's quite a big bloke. And you've got the ability to read the game. I think he has an insight into the game and other players. The only thing he lacks is his ability to score goals. I think he's got 14 in 147 games, something like that.
Yeah, which is why he make about a 10, I think.
Yeah, I mean, he's not like his old man said that is like the ox. That is his best position.
And the thing as well with Iwobi is he's a player that, like we say, he still hasn't got anywhere near his potential achieved yet, and potentially, he will go on to be better. He puts up with an almighty amount of stick, sometimes on a Boué level, which how bad that got at times.
They have to have a boo boy, don't they?
Yeah, always got to be a victim. And he's a player that I think there's more upsides than downsides to Iwobi. Is he the finished article? No. Does he do 14 step overs?
Age.
Exactly. And the way I always look at it as well is that people are saying at the moment, like people are looking at players we could sign, and this is probably a debate we can also have a little bit later on about why do
22? I thought he was 26.
Yeah, 22. And people say to me have said to me and a few others, why do we not look at Premier League proven players? Why are we not signing not James Maddison because he's a diving little cheat, but people like that, And then people are saying, the same people that are saying Iwobi shit, these are the same people that are saying that we should go and sign Ryan Fraser from Bournemouth. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not just saying, because he's Bournemouth, he's shit. He's not. He's a very good little player. Okay, he is. But is he an Arsenal player? Is he a player that can transform a top 4 side into a top 2 side, or a top 6 side into a top. I don't think he is. I think he's a very good level Bournemouth player who, if he signed for Everton, Newcastle,
that's the next step up for
Wolves.
him.
Yeah, that's his step. He's not an Arsenal player, but if Iwobi was performing at a high level at Newcastle, then all of our fans, we should be trying to sign him. He's the next upcoming talent. Then the minute we've got them in our door, we want to bash them. Or it goes the other way, when apparently Reece Nelson and Ainsley Maitland-Niles are Jesus Christ, our superstars all over again. And they're not. They're young players with potential. I've seen nothing at all that tells me that Reece Nelson is going to be Jadon Sancho or Callum Hudson-Odoi or whoever else, insert young English talent here. He's a raw young player who would be great to have in our squad next year, but he's not the second coming of Jesus. We're signing players that are of our level, and I don't personally think Ryan Fraser would do any more for us than Iwobi does. I just don't. Yes, he might give you a bit more threat going forward potentially for some games, but he'll also disappear in other games. And sometimes you have to be. Iwobi's come, like you said, Danny. Jackosaurus, thank you for the $5 there. Thank you very much, sir. Euro, sorry, very much, lads. It's Tottenham. Superb, love it. Thank you, sir.
Cheers, Jackosaurus. He's if you want to put a link to your Twitch channel, Jack, feel free. And if it doesn't work, then I'll put it in myself, because Jackosaurus has a lot of stuff on Twitch. I've not watched Twitch for a while, but yeah, he's very good.
I've just started to do that, Jackosaurus. So I will follow you.
Are you going to do some gaming on there?
Oh no, I'm far too bad.
That's the good bit.
No, it's really not. I actually punched my wardrobe the other day. Terrible.
I'll tell you what, my worst bit of rage. I'm sure I said this in the previous show. Playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, I hit the Xbox, ejected the disc, took the disc out, flung it through the sitting room into the kitchen, bounced off the kitchen window. Then I put my hand into the tray of the Xbox, picked it up by there, and smashed it picked the entire Xbox up and smashed it against the table. Cut all the inside of my finger. I might even have a scar there now, and cut the outside of the other fingers.
Oh,
fucking hell.
See, kids, gaming is dangerous. Jackosaurus is what games. Jack, I only play FIFA. I don't stream. I just watch other people. So if you want me to watch you, that sounds a bit creepy. But if you want me to watch you, then I will. So yeah. But no, the other point I was going to make, and I'll shut up because I'm banging on. Iwobi's come through the system all the way from Arsenal, all the way through the levels. So he knows what it's like to play for a club the size of Arsenal. Ryan Fraser or someone like that hasn't done that. So it's all right saying, if you get the player that Bournemouth have, then yeah, absolutely. Potentially he could be a good signing, but I'm not sure you're going to get that. I would actually rather spend money on someone like Ayoze Perez. If you're going to take a gamble, I would rather go and get someone like that. For Newcastle.
He's since they moved him from the 10 to the left, he has scored like 9 goals in 16 games.
I think he's been as good. Controversial statement here. I think he's been as good as Riyad Mahrez was in that season for Leicester at times. I really do.
Can't get a game.
No, because yet again he chased the money. He chased the money, and he was a player that
another one.
He was a player who was brilliant at Leicester, and
that was his level.
And hasn't made the step up. Big fish, little pond. Some players are brilliant in that position, but but I never really did get your opinion on Alexis. But do you think I'm not? Don't get it wrong. Before anyone jumps in the chat and says bring him back, I'm not saying we should go and get him back. I'm just saying that
he's changed.
He's the sort of player, isn't he? That this side, from an attacking point of view, we won't mention defence. Christ, we'd be here all night. But he's the sort of player we need, isn't he? He's the X factor that we don't have at the moment.
Well, hold that thought. I want to read out. So people have been putting some really interesting things in there in the chat box. It says Ricky Taylor. No manager has won more trophies than Emery in the last 5 years, and all the fans are talking shit like he doesn't know what he's doing. Lol. The team is simply not good enough. Agree with that.
Spot on. Yeah.
Benares, my brain wants to say bananas, so if I call you bananas, do forgive me. He says, sorry, Danny, but every single club has spent money through history. Man City deserve their success. That should say asterisk, and have spent all of their historical money in 5 years. So then I'd agree with that. Spurs were investing properly. Every defender has been a success, while Arsenal have been awful. Benares again, Man City, great club who have invested year in, year out, and that's what Arsenal should have done. I have nothing against Man City. And if Arsenal were doing that, I wouldn't be complaining. But
No.
it's just it's false football.
Bit artificial. Yeah.
Yeah. It's astroturfing as well. Have you heard that phrase?
I like that phrase.
Yeah, it's when if people don't know, I was the TIFO football on YouTube. Go and watch them; they're magnificent. And astroturfing is when you buy a club and you use that club's reputation to enhance the reputation of your own shoddy government. So I'm not saying what club that is, but yeah, they did a whole thing on it.
It's not the same as double bagging. Don't Google that, people.
No, Thunder Road, our resident troll and troll killer. So he's. We daren't poke him, but he pokes us. He says, we should use super chat dollars to get you, as in me, to the Emirates next season. Ellis will pick you up on his way from Norwich. Well, that's quite a distance. You wouldn't come past here to go to Norwich, but from Norwich.
You're too lazy anyway. You won't get out the door, would you?
No, well, no, we might go this season. Sean is 21.
You only got one game left. Do you mean next season?
No, yeah, next summer. Sean is 21 in the 29th of May. Fucking Europa League final day.
There you go.
I'm trying to convince her to go out of her mates that night.
She needs to know her role that night, doesn't she?
And then I can, because my van, I've got a car and a van. I don't drive the car anymore. So Merc convertible, 16 grand if anybody wants it. The van it's a 2-litre petrol. They go, 2-litre petrol car. You've got to be 20. It's a fucking Volkswagen Charan that will do 105 if you're lucky. So as it's a 2-litre petrol, they won't let me insure her until she's 21. So she will be insured in the May this year, the end of May, and then she doesn't go back to uni until October this year. So from May until October, she will be ready to drive me wherever I want to go. So she's going to come to some games with me. And I am going to pay everybody who comes up to me and points out who I am £5 just to embarrass her.
£5.
I'm not actually, in case anybody does it, I can't afford a £5. So he says he'll come to the game. There was a couple of other really good ones. Arsenic Goon said Peak Cech or Peak Ozil. Which one would you pick? I'd pick Peak Cech.
Peak Cech, yeah.
That half season he had, where he was virtually the only one scoring for us, was magnificent.
I don't care whether people want to call him a snake or not. He's one of the best players I've ever seen.
And his recent dig on Twitter was magnificent.
Oh, he's blatantly still a little bit Arsenal at heart, isn't he? Yeah. No, he was a wonderful footballer. Absolutely, yeah. And that's not to say that Meza isn't, but yeah. No, agreed.
Gemini Jedi says, "What's your prediction for Thursday?" I say win. You?
Yeah, I don't think it will be. Yeah, I think we'll win, but it's the home leg first, isn't it? Which I'm never quite so keen on. If we put in like we did against Napoli, I think we'll blow Valencia away. They've not been great, but they've got a lot of players, and of course, it's the return of Mad Frankie Coquelin. So, and Gabriel, of course, but especially Coquelin.
Suspended, isn't he, for the first leg?
Probably, he probably is. He's sent off every other week. So, Mad Frankie, be good to see him back. Should never have left. God bless him.
Bernard Hussein says Sanchez was on the bench at Barcelona, picking splinters out of his backside, just like his is at Manchester United. Yeah. It is okay when he came to Arsenal with Ozil, he found a player on his wavelength. Very, very true.
There's a good...
Probably knows that. Jovino is good at running. Unfortunately, not with the ball.
That's so true. There's a good point in the previous message you said there about he was picking splinters out of his arse. It's my opinion that depending on what sort of money we have available in the summer, which we all know is probably going to be about £4 in a packet of pork scratchings, but I think he's the sort of player I'd be trying to sign this summer as the marquee player. And what I mean by that is I think we should be sniffing around, here's a name you might not expect me to say, the Iscos of this market.
Rodriguez, James Rodriguez. No,
I've never really thought he was one wonderful goal. He was that guy from the World Cup. Do you remember when who was the guy who had a wonderful World Cup and everyone went mad? Golovin is a prime example. Went to Monaco, has done nothing. There's always that one player that has a brilliant World Cup. And we must sign him, and then he's terrible. No, so not Rodriguez, but someone like Isco. And what I mean is a player who's extremely high level, but isn't playing for their club right now.
Solari still the manager at Real?
No, Zidane's back, isn't he?
Of course he is, yes. Yeah. Solari didn't like anyone playing in the 10, did he? But Ozil does. Zidane does.
Yeah.
Who's he playing next? I take no note. I don't watch ITV4 anymore.
I think to be people.
Actually, I do watch it for the touring cars, but
I think Asensio plays there a bit. I mean, I haven't seen a lot of Real Madrid this year, I must be honest. But Zidane that whole. I mean, it's going to be Hazard, isn't it, in the summer anyway?
Yeah.
They're going to reshuffle their whole. And I'm not just saying Isco. I'm just saying a player like that, a player that is at a club who maybe isn't in favour. It's why that for me the Perisic deal made sense at the time, because he was a player who, in my opinion, is still extremely high level, but wasn't particularly in favour at Inter at the time. Arturo Vidal, when he went to Barcelona, I know that ship has sailed now, but
he's won 7 titles in a row with 3 different teams.
8. Yeah, but you just want to bring in, we're not a club that can go out now and compete with the very best in Europe. And people are saying, "Oh, we should go and get De Ligt." Really? Come on. Like, some of the best clubs in the world are going to be after him, and I hate to say it, but we're not one of the best clubs in the world right now. And and people, I know people will say, I think somebody said that Tukamenia said Bale. No, get rid of one bloody overrated Welshman to bring in another. No, I'm joking, Jace. I'm joking. Put the baseball bat down, Jace.
Tukamania says Bale.
No, I just said that. Literally just said that.
No, I'm just saying that he's saying Bale as well.
Yeah,
I
said he said it. Yeah.
Oh, I was just blocking and not Peter. I'd read because I just put shit in there, so I just blocked him.
But yeah, I mean, no, God no. I mean, in injury prone, was always a better player. In his heyday for Wales, and no, for me, it's just, and he would still cost a fortune. I think somebody said to me the other day, it'd be interesting to see what happens with De Gea and Courtois in the summer, because there's a lot of talk that might end up being a swap deal, and United are getting first dibs on Bale at the same time. But no, I just think we need to be.
Did De Gea to Real Madrid?
It seems to be talking. There's a 3-way dance at the moment, apparently, between PSG, Man United, and Real Madrid. All 3 of them want each other's goalkeepers. So Real Madrid want De Gea, PSG want Courtois, and Man United want Courtois as well. So, no, definitely not. So there's a kind of a 3-way thing going on there, but. No, I don't think Bale for me, but for somebody like an Isco or someone of that degree where they are still Pjanic, maybe at Juventus, another one, if you want to bring in a creative type. I'm not saying they're the type of players we need. We obviously need defenders, lots of defenders. But
back to your point about gone.
No, I was just going to say I don't think we should be aiming for top shelf, because we can't compete for those top shelf players right now. We need to go and find either the next young sort of up and coming stars like you can do these types of players, or players that have just been out of favour that are looking for a fresh challenge. As our own Gunnar Hulick has put, love the Ajax keepers just flattened Vertonghen and Llorente. That would be a fun move, wouldn't it? If we got Vertonghen, that'd be quite funny, because he's out of contract, isn't he, in the summer?
Didn't they take up a 1-year option on him though?
Or is it older? We're old, or whatever.
I think older Wiley. Yeah, I think they made him play for a 1-year option, but then after that he's on a free. Possibly, I don't know. These things, no one ever really knows. Yeah, getting back to Sanchez. My reply to your tweet was first season, 52 games, 25 goals, 12 assists. Then 41, 17 and 10 assists, 51, 30 and 15. And even the season when he didn't want to be there, half a season, 24 games, 8 goals, 4 assists. That adds up, ladies and gentleworms. 166 games, 80 goals. So that's a goal every other game. 41 assists. That's an assist every 4 games in 3.5 seasons. And that would be amazing. And and at Man United, 43 games, 5 goals and 9 assists. Yeah, but imagine him playing in the team. Yes, he was. Occasionally, he was lazy, but like people were saying, he's on the same wavelength as Ozil. That was the beginning of Arsenal building a world star team. Ozil 1 season, next season Sanchez, season after that, Cech, season after that, bugger all. So that was the beginning of the season. I'd like to know what happened to bringing in one superstar every season, because if next season after that, if we'd have gone and got another really, like a defensive midfielder, someone that I don't know, maybe a Kondogbia, someone who everybody wanted, or no, Kondogbia is the centre back, isn't he?
Centre midfield.
Yeah, who was the Kouchouriak? That was another one we were linked with. There were so many things. What's he gone on to do? Bugger all, 2 loan spells and 1 with a team that got relegated.
Yeah,
but that is the kind of player we need, because at the moment we have got, like someone has put in the chat, they said, well, Arsenal are the only top 6 team that doesn't have proper wide players, and Sanchez is that proper wide player. He was just as happy out on the left as he was playing in the 10, or even when you play him up front, he still scored goals for you. But he was giving the ball away 30, 40 times a game, but he would never stop running. And we had him when he went World Cup, Premier League season, Copa Libertadores, Copa America, then Premier League season, and then another Premier, and then another Copa. So he had 3 seasons without a rest, and he still managed to do that for us.
And it's caught up now, isn't it?
Yeah, he's fucked. And for me, people thought I was mad. He's in my best ever Arsenal 11. He replaces Perez. Now, as much as I love Perez, and you might want to hate me, the amount of goals that he got, for me, it goes Sanchez, Perez, and then probably Overmars, then Santi on that left-sided attacking midfield.
See, I think you could probably, as much as it breaks my heart because he is the greatest Swedish man of all time, except Zlatan. You could argue maybe Alexis over Freddie, possibly, but for me, you couldn't take Perez out. Right. Oh yeah, but I mean, if you're forgetting who plays what positions, if you're just saying wingers and whatnot,
I'd rather drop Freddie than drop Perez.
I think when we said earlier on about people that constantly hark back to the past and say, well, we used to do this, we used to play that way. The one thing I probably would say I agree with those people on is, Vertonghen's going off. He looks like, he's being sick. That's beautiful, lovely. Yeah, he's fucked. Good.
Can we say that we no longer want to sign Vertonghen? He's broken.
No, he's broken, and hopefully all of the rest of them get broken at some point tonight as well. No, I would. He can also play the piano. Very good. I think I would probably be looking at getting wide players back in Arsenal. I do think that is one thing we have lacked for, but as you said, Alexis, but for the longest period of time, the days when we had the likes of Perez and Overmars, 100%. I mean, Overmars was different gravy, but and ironically, here's the bit where every single viewer turns off because I talk about French football. You've been warned.
French football cat. Oh, there you go. Vertonghen's been sick.
There's loads. There's loads of really high caliber wide players in Liga at the moment.
Everyone else keeps buying them, don't they?
Who keeps buying them?
Everybody keeps buying decent French team players from the only one we had recently.
It's the League of Talents, Danny. That's the strap line. But and a lot of people are going to immediately say Nicolas Pepe at Lille. No chance. We cannot afford him on his performances. But who we could afford is Jonathan Bamba at Lille, who's the winger on the opposite side to Pepe, who potentially gives you a wide option. There's Alain Saint-Maximin, who's the lad who wears the Armani headbands with the dreadlocks. People will probably remember it or know him from that. Again, very raw. Very, certainly a work in progress. He'd need a lot of coaching, a lot of, there's a little bit of Iwobi in him, dare I say it. But he's direct, he's quick, he's pacey, he's a goal threat. He's a raw, and he's managed by Patrick Vieira at the moment, so that might be an in.
We should make a point of going and getting these players. Like, we waited too long for Conte, and we waited too long for Mahrez and these other players. Because before we went and picked up Koscielny, he got promoted. He had 1 season in Ligue 1, and then we bought him.
Yeah,
that's what we need to do. Go back to getting them and not going, Lacazette is the perfect example. We could have had him for 20 million. We waited, and then he had a great season. They waited again. We had another great season. And we went, now we had to pay 50 million for him. We need to get more players earlier. Is it the bad scouting that is doing it, or just refusing to pull the trigger? I suppose it's because we can't offload the shit that we've got.
No, that's the biggest problem. That's the biggest problem we're going to have. Thunder Rose said, "What about Malcolm?" Well, he's probably going to be available in the summer again, isn't he? It's really not worked for him at Barca at all. He's not really got game time. Yeah, right. But I think maybe the biggest problem we're going to have is who on earth is going to take the crap we've got this summer.
We managed to get rid of Koch and Gabriel and Theo Walcott.
Yeah, but they weren't crap, were they? I mean, Theo had come to the end of his time. Coquelin was, less, as much as I loved him, he probably wasn't at that time. He probably wasn't the level of player we needed. But right now, he'd walk into our midfield. By the way,
better job than Elneny. I do like Elneny.
Do a better job than Xhaka. but don't get me on that bloody train.
Well, Xhaka's that's not his job, is it, to defend the ball? His job is to...
What is Xhaka's job, other than give the ball away and get booked? I mean,
this is the crossbar challenge.
I'm just not a fan of that man. But yeah, I think maybe that's going to be a harder task for Emery, is, you know, getting rid of players. I mean, somebody will take a punt on Mustafi. Somebody will probably someone like Fulham, or, you know, a club of that equivalent who just blindly spends money. You know, he'll probably end up somewhere for about 10 million quid, and we'll all laugh, and he'll probably turn out to be the best defender in the world.
Neville said about him.
I didn't know. What was that?
Gary Neville said, when I was at Sevilla, was it Sevilla? No, Valencia. When I was at Valencia, we couldn't give him away. And then Arsene Wenger comes in and offers 35. Didn't we offer 20 million? And they said, no, we want more.
They want more. We pay 35.
Yeah. They said we couldn't give him away. But we always get stung like that, because he leaves. Wenger used some. I'm not having a go at Wenger, bless him. He's magnificent. But he was so conscious about the well-being of the club, the fine. He didn't do what Klopp does and go, I want it, I don't care. He was like, I don't want to pay too much for this player, I'm going to start low. And the amount of times like Gary Cahill went in too low, and Juan Mata took our time with him, ended up going to Chelsea when his dad said he was going to come to us. And then so he goes in low to try and save money, and then we end up losing them. And that happens so many times, but it's for the best for the club. But we need to stop doing that as well. That's why I liked Emery this summer. Went bang, bang, bang. There you go. 4, 5, 6 players. Magnificent.
The problem you've got as well is it's a lottery, isn't it? Like, you know, you can scout and you can profile thousands of players. We all do it. Like, we all watch. Well, I'd say a lot of us watch football all around the world at all different times of the day, and God knows what. We all look at play. Oh, he's mustered, he's quality. You know, I do it every week. But it's a gamble, isn't it? You know, for every N'Golo Kante that you pick up for 14 quid and a subscription to Pornhub, you know, there's also Andre Frank Zambo-Anguissa from Fulham signed from Marseille, who was like, you know, I mean, to be fair, anyone who saw them paying that went, what? You're paying what for who now? But there are, you know, Mahrez is another example, you know. Yes, he's obviously a very talented player, but have Man City ever seen the Mahrez that was at Leicester? I don't particularly think so. So it's a gamble, isn't it? You know, you can sign players that are not in the public eye so much, you know, but just fit the club. Or you can sign an established player and it just doesn't work. I mean, like we said earlier, the Mkhitaryan and Alexis, has there been a worse swap deal in the history of football for both clubs? Yeah, I mean, and I don't get it wrong.
We've both just given them free transfers.
It just got rid of them. Yeah, just said we'll cut our losses. Don't get it wrong. I actually really like Mkhitaryan. I just don't think our system is set up to get the best out of him at all. But I don't know.
When he made his name at Dortmund, he wasn't playing out bloody wide.
No, and he was playing in a completely different formation and system.
With big man
yeah, and
Goetze and all that lot.
And he fed Aubameyang a lot, which we haven't really got that into our game. But and you can't have Mesut and Mkhitaryan in the same side. That just, you know, that won't work. So
I suppose the only reason we haven't seen Mkhitaryan. Hold on, Nick Paris has put, what about the £1 for the Liverpool bloke, the Suarez deal, 40 million and £1.
Oh God, yeah,
that's his own T-shirt.
Yeah.
But what were we just talking about?
The idea of signing a player who doesn't fulfil potential.
Oh yeah, the only reason we've not played Mkhitaryan in the 10, I think, is because we've got no one else who can play out on the right. We can play Aubameyang on the left, but they're getting Iwobi's right-footed, but he plays left. But I reckon if we'd have had anybody fit who could play on the right wing, then even right midfield, then actually Maitland-Niles, I'd love to see him play. Yeah, bless you. He could play there, so I'd like to see him then. I'd like to see Mkhitaryan playing in the 10, because he's too old and fat and lazy to be running down that wing at his age. He needs the easy Gaza role. Go on, son, off you go.
I think Arsenio Wonga's got the right idea. He said Mickey, Daffy, Goofy, and Donald as our back four. I think we've already got 3 of those already, and we're just waiting for the Disney Princess to join, and we've got the full set. Or we could sign the 7 dwarfs. That would be an option. But no, in all seriousness, I think you're right. I just think it's quite. If you wake up tomorrow morning and you're feeling a little bit, I shouldn't say suicidal because that's probably a bit far. But if you wake up tomorrow and you feel a little bit down and you'd like to make your day a little bit worse and you quite enjoy a headache, have a look at the Arsenal first team squad and have a little game of who would I keep, who would I sell. It's quite eye opening right now. There's quite a lot of players that if you're honest and you look at, you go, I'm not sure I would keep genuinely half this squad. People have also forgotten, of course, that 3 of our best performing players this season were all got injured. And I include Danny Welbeck in that. He was finding form before he got crocked. Bellerin is our only functional quality right back. And even he's still got work to do. And obviously Rob Holding was starting to show his best form before he got, minced at Old Trafford. So they're all coming back. But I mean, beyond that, I just think there's so much surgery needs to be done in this squad. And part of me, how would you feel about this, Danny? I mean, how would you feel about us saying, well, we're not going to throw a season, of course, but how would you feel about us saying, do you know what? Next season, once again, is going to have to be transitioned. We're going to shift out some of the high earners, shift out some of the, the high ego players. We're going to bring through a handful of youngsters, and we're going to take a gamble on 2 or 3 Premier League signings from lower clubs. How would you feel about that?
There we on that. First of all, can you go and have a look in the chat for someone called Colo's Used Cars?
I've just seen it now. Yes.
No, it's in his avatar.
What is that? Is that?
I've had to go to his page, save it, preview it, and look at it.
Who is it?
Billy Gunn.
Is it? Quality.
And his trunks.
And if you're not down with that, very good. That's very, very good.
Colo, he's got no videos though. Colo Torres Used Cars.
That's a superb name as well. That's right. That's right up there with the guy who comments on footy headlines called David Hillier's Suitcase. Which is another brilliant name I've come across recently.
More people in there. Kevin Laback is a regular. Thunderhead's still there. We've got Michael Hernandez. Hello, Michael. Nice to join us.
I saw my friend Pedalo earlier on as well, Mr. McManus. He's lurking around somewhere.
Richard did the live show last week. Mickey and Ozil equal time cop rules. I'm not sure what that means. I don't know. It's the Jean-Claude Van Damme film, but
yes. And Jackosaurus still hasn't shared his Twitch name yet. Jackosaurus. Don't worry about self-promotion, my friend. We do it every week.
Do it. And also there is another fellow podcaster there who's quite new on the scene. It is the Mr. Arsenal. What's his thing? Mr. Arsenal podcast.
Mr. Arsenal podcast. Yeah.
Feel free to put a link into your YouTube.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. Your question was. And Ricky Taylor. We already said. Mr. Hollick's there. Your point was take a season. I'd take what you said a step further. If we don't win the Europa League, I'd quite like us to throw the last couple of games of the season and have no European football next season. Look at the likes of Leicester and Chelsea when they have had no season, no European football. The amount of break and the number of less games you're playing, and then get out of the League Cup and the FA Cup as early as possible.
I think
that would be an interesting season.
I don't think that's possible. I don't think we can finish lower than 6th now, can we? With only 2 games left.
Yeah, but it's only going to be top 4. The 5th one is highlighted. What does that mean?
No, it's because you got Europa League below that, haven't you? So I think Wolves, Leicester, and Watford could still qualify for Europa League, can't they?
WhoScored.com. And it's 1 to 4 is green, and number 5 is blue. And I thought, 5 is going to be the Europa League. And I realised, no, it's not the Europa League. Maybe that's the only guaranteed Europa League, and all the others depend on other competitions.
Yeah.
Your point is a good one. It would be very interesting to see that we do say, look, we're not going to be. We've got so much stuff we need to get rid of. And let's remember, after we did the Invincible season, Arsene Wenger let 32 players go that season.
Yeah, that's something people forget, isn't it?
Because that was I say that to people. People go, no, they couldn't do it. A lot of youth players, but people the likes of Ray Parlour, I think.
Fringe, yeah.
Yeah, Ray Parlour, loads of them left. I'm just going to go and have a look at my site, my secret site that I don't tell anyone about.
Arsenic Gooners just put a list in there. I'm presuming these are the ones that he'd be happy to let go. Just to give you a flavour of what we're sort of dealing with in terms of names. Lichtsteiner, Mustafi, Koscielny, Kolasinac, Monreal, Elneny, Xhaka, Ozil, Ramsey, Iwobi, Welbeck, Dennis Suarez, Mkhitaryan, Ozil. I think he's played Ozil twice. That's harsh. Cech, Jenkinson, all out. And there's a few I would question. I wouldn't be letting Koscielny go anywhere. In fact, I would tie him to the Emirates if that's what it means to keep him, because he's the only him and Socrates are the 2 best defenders we've got. I also wouldn't be in a rush to get rid of Mkhitaryan just yet, although I do get the wages thing. And I would keep Monreal because I still think, although his legs are going, I still think he offers a great degree of versatility, if nothing else.
Isn't it? How he seems to have lost it in a season.
It's that injury, though, wasn't it? He got injured at the start of the season, and I don't think he's looked the same since. But I think Monreal can transition into what Sagna did when he left, when they moved him inside from right back into a centre half, didn't they? I think Monreal's played really well as one of the three. So
prolong your career. Plus he's not playing for Spain, and that is not an easier position, but a less demanding position, which. And he's been such a magnificent servant for the club. Just looking at his, he has played the third most at the club. It's Ramsey 369, Lauren 349, and then Nacho 243.
I mean that says it all. I think if I was going to take a gamble, and obviously none of us are privy to what goes on behind the scenes. But if I was going to take a gamble, and I can see our good friend Danny, Mr. Bramble, smiling from ear to ear when I say this, I'd have a good look at the Championship right now. And I know a lot of people will probably turn their nose up at that and go, well, the Championship, it's the league below. There's who? Sorry,
Nyon's back in the Championship.
Yes, we got Norwich and Sheffield United are up, aren't they? So. I would be looking at some of those kids at Norwich are absolutely out of this world. They got the two fullbacks. I think it's Aarons and is it Joe Lewis? I think his name is the fullback. They are absolutely blistering pace wise. Everything you want in a modern fullback. You look at some of the players that are coming through it.
Leicester and Wolves, they've got really good fullbacks.
Yeah, exactly. What I mean, Doherty at Wolves is Jota's quality. I don't think you get those because of the contracts they're on now. But yeah. I would have a look. I'd have a look at those sort of clubs. I would have a look at those sort of players. Teams that are getting relegated. There's the lad at Huddersfield. God,
Boy.
Who? Sorry.
Boy.
No. The young lads, the midfielder. I'll look up his name because it probably wouldn't be a name that you jumps out of the page. But he's an absolute monster. He's about 6'6". He's got a lovely touch on him, and he plays for Huddersfield. So what does that say? If he stood out in that team, all power to him. What's his name? I bet chat are already ahead of me here.
Looking at some things.
Philip Billing.
Never heard of him.
He's actually Danish. He's 22 years old. He's actually Danish by birth, but I think he's got English parents. But he's in the sort of build of a rangy centre half, but playing in midfield. He's got a lovely touch on him. And he's just, again, I'm not saying that he would come in and be the answer to all of our prayers. But I'd just like to see us take a little bit of a gamble. And you look at what we did with Guendouzi. Nobody turned their nose up at the fact we were signing a player from French League 2, but yet they will turn their nose up if we start having a look at players from the Championship or lower Premier League. So I don't know. It depends what you want, doesn't it? And let's be honest, players we're going to sign in the summer, unless they are established Premier League players that everyone knows about. A lot of the players we're going to sign, people aren't really going to know who they are anyway, are they? Let's be honest.
They'll immediately judge them as rubbish, though.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly my point. Some people will know a few, and people who follow world football will know some of the names we look at. But I think the one thing we have to do is we have to freshen it. This has to be a summer where we are ruthless and we say, right, no more Mustafi, no more Xhaka, no more these players will do a job. No. We need to be ruthless. And if we sign 6 players and only 3 of them work out, well, that's not bad for me. I take that ratio.
These players that left after we were invincible, Francis Jeffers, and then Igor Stepanovs was let go, Sylvain Wiltord, Liam Chivers, Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, Ray Parler, Graham Stack, who was our young goal. We went on loan. Tavaladis, Kanu, Keown, Carbassiun, Rami Shaban, and all those left. Oh no, Carbassiun was on loan. But that was like about 7 or 8 players that were first team players the season before. Yeah, and they were all gone, and then we still actually went on to do nothing for years after that.
Seagan, Mr. Arsenal podcast said Seagan as well. Steph Selby's in the chat. Hi, Steph. And Ryan Cost as well as another regular.
Oh, hello, yeah. Steph, we picked out my new PC that should be arriving on Thursday.
Steph is wise.
He's
a wise man.
And at 2:00 in the morning just to talk about it. Oh, there's a new one.
Bless him.
XAGO on ENT.
Oh, yeah.
Than the Lord. Is he getting religious, or does he mean Bentner?
I think he means Bentner.
Hopefully, because if he
got to be Bentner.
Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, because there's one about Lord Bentner.
Lord Bentner. There you go. But it'll be an interesting summer because you'd imagine Man City will spend again. I mean, I suppose again they're kind of irrelevant because we're nowhere near them.
Can we summarise in under a minute what Man City have to do to win the Champions League?
Oh, I can do that in under 10 seconds.
How did they bottled it because they went there against European teams, but they bottled it against Spurs, a team from their own league.
Get rid of Guardiola; they'll probably win the Champions League. Shit. There you go. No, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to know, isn't it? But I suppose the fact that they consistently fail in those big games gives us all hope that money can't just buy you what you want. Maybe. If nothing else.
Chris Hoppy Hopkins, he won the signed Santi Cazorla shirt.
I saw his picture. Yeah, it looked awesome.
I forgot to put it up on bloody Facebook.
I saw his tweet and it looks awesome. So
here we go, Chris Knight. I can't get past the fact that we could have signed Van Dijk from Celtic or Southampton for 10 million. How much better would our team have been?
Oh, don't.
Did you read today that someone said that De Boer had agreed to come and sign for Arsenal in 1998? But then Ajax didn't want to let him go because they're two of them, weren't they? Frank
Ronald De Boer said, he'd already agreed terms with Arsenal. And yet another one to add to the Arsenal nearly signed me 11 that people are putting together.
Turned down Maradona in the day. We turned down Messi.
Yeah.
And Ibrahimovic said, I do not do trials.
Ronaldo. And he was talking to at Sporting, wasn't he?
Yeah, because and Peter Schmeichel, Wenger saw him and said, no, we can't have him. Alex Ferguson, do you want him?
Mm-hmm. Kylian Mbappe, of course, spoke to his parents before he had his breakthrough season. Sigh.
Leighton on loan.
Here's a question. Here's a question that's probably going to upset some people, but I have to go here because it bugs me. What date this year will people finally stop moaning that Aaron Ramsey's leaving? Will that ever happen, or are we always just going to constantly just cry about it forevermore?
Have you heard about a cheeky summer podcast we're going to be doing? I'm not going to say what it is.
I genuinely haven't, no.
You might be involved. So far, it's me, John, and Jace, and it's
God, no, I can't. I don't stand a chance. That's the Aaron Ramsey fan club. I don't have a chance.
It's not going to be a Bergkamp Wonderland podcast we're doing.
Oh, God. You're not going to do a Ramsey tribute podcast, are you?
It might be called a
For the love of God.
Alessandro Del Piero Wonderland podcast. We might knock out a few in the summer.
I'll be fine. Yeah, let me do a Fabregas one and get Jason. That's fine.
You bastard!
I should caveat this by saying I'm being a little facetious. Of course I am.
No,
I am a little bit. Look, I get some stick for saying that. I didn't think Ramsey was a legend and all this stuff. He's been arguably our player of the year this year. He's been fantastic. He's been consistent. His attitude has been absolutely first class. He's never once come out in the press and said anything negative. We all knew he was going even before the announcement came. We knew he was going in the summer. Let's be honest. He's been absolutely first class, and every time he's put the Arsenal shirt on, you'd thought he was playing for a cup every single time he's played. He's been that good.
Season, is it? I mean, people are saying he's magnificent. He scored 6 goals all season. Last season, he scored 11 in 32.
Yeah, absolutely. I think
they fucking re-sign him.
I think it's the attitude thing that people have really seen the most. The fact that in the modern day where so many players down tools, he's arguably tried even harder to impress. So he goes in my blessing, and yeah, he will be forever fondly remembered, and he should do. He's earned that. I just have a little bit of an uncomfortable thing about the amount of people that just keep bringing it up all the time. Oh, why didn't we do this? Oh, talking like he's the answer to everything, and he's not. And people say, oh, how the hell are we going to replace him? Well, how the hell did we replace Thierry Henry? How the hell do we replace Fabregas? How the hell do we replace? There's a list of them. Vieira, exactly. So yeah, you what you do is you don't replace Aaron Ramsey. You buy another player who changes our midfield. That's what you do. You can't go and buy another Alexis Sanchez, another Aaron Ramsey, another Patrick Vieira, etc. You buy the best player you can to change the system you're playing. And Aaron obviously didn't fit into Emery's plans initially. I genuinely think if you'd have given Unai Emery 8 months fast forwarded and said, would you like us to move heaven and high earth to keep him? I think he probably would try and keep him now if he had the opportunity. But the decision was made when it was made that at that point he didn't fit the system, and he didn't. He didn't fit that system. Since then, he's played in so many different positions, and he's been fantastic. But this idea that without him we're useless, I'm not buying. I think he's a really, really good player, and I think he served us fantastically well, and he's been loyal, and he's been front and center of some really amazing days as an Arsenal fan. But I just think people need to start thinking about moving on a bit now. Jace has got an excuse because he cleans his house, so I get that. But no, people. If you like one of your favourite players, and I totally get it. But I miss Cech to this day. I miss Santi to this day. But we just kind of have to go. Do you know what? He's not the future. We need to get on with it and stop thinking, oh God, what are we going to do without him? Oh God, the world's falling apart. I just think we need to go in a different direction now, and possibly even Mesut as well. Do I dare say that? But I feel like this might be the end of him this summer as well. I don't know where the hell he's going to go, but
we won't be going away from home.
Well, yeah.
Santiago Schmidt. How can I say Schmidt? But yeah, I can't. Japanese words, German words, I can say them by just looking at them. Other ones, no chance. Anyway, Santiago says, I would sell some of our, in quotes, fans because they have been shit.
That's brilliant.
But it's been difficult for the club and players, but I can't. So I think he's put a hey. And also Naz, who told me that this is the previous shows should be dear viewer, not dear listener. Naz Osman says, Ramsey is not terrible. I bet if he signed the contract, he would have been shit as was... He would have been shit, as was in the past. One good season in every 3. I'm not sure about that.
Let's pick out 2 other...
important player, but I think he's an important player.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Ability to go 10 or 8 or even drop back and get the ball. He can do all of them, which so many players nowadays not only can't, but are unwilling to try.
Exactly, unwilling to do. That's the key word there. There's 2 other good ones here as well. One from our very own Goonaholic, who makes a very sensible point that once again, people are not in our chat, but people as a whole seem to completely overlook. We couldn't buy in January because we did the budget last summer and we faced Premier League penalties if we had. We have money, we can buy this summer. I would explain, but it would only get 200 characters. Dave's right, bang on. People forget that we didn't spend basically a penny in January. Is that a mistake? I guess we'll see depending on where we finish. But there is money at the club. Anyone that thinks otherwise, I don't know. I don't know what I just don't understand, because there clearly is money.
Is 5 million? Because if it is, the first thing the club are not going to go, hey everybody, this is how much money we've got.
No way. And
they low ball it. Just some other club can go, oh yeah, I read on Twitter. I read one of your fans tweet that you've only got 40 million. That's what we want. You can do you a deal then.
And there's no way we're not working on deals already. I mean, unless we're completely incompetent, which is a whole different podcast. But yeah, I think we'll be doing our work. Mr. Hollick's followed up with, we have an amount plus a percentage we're allowed to spend, plus any money we make from transferred, freed wages, commercial additions. We've got this
Europa League. I think we get 30.
Yeah, there's more money. And the profile, this is the other thing that people forget as well. When you win a European trophy, the major sponsors go, ooh, and we're not talking about the Adidas kit deal, which is Adidas, a brand that's in football. We're talking about the casinos or the yacht owning companies or the tile franchise companies in Middle Eastern Europe. People that have literally no knowledge of football whatsoever, but they see Football Cup, basically the Stan Kroenkes of industries who may not know anything about football, but the people that are paid to do their thinking for them come in on a Monday morning, slap a file on the desk and go, Arsenal Football Club, they just won the Europa League. We can make money off this lot. flog them your watches and they go, hello, Arsenal Football Club, we'd like to give you some money to put a nice little billboard in your Emirates Stadium of our watches. These things make money. Lord Hillwood, ask him. He will tell you what good marketing can do if you are clever about it. And that sort of profile, you can be Leicester. Look at the revenue Leicester got from their Premier League win. Suddenly, a 12-year-old in Colombia knew who Leicester was. These things spiral. The idea that we're, I don't know, Peterborough. Sorry, Danny. We're not. We're still a massive club, and we're still a huge draw, and players will want to join us. I guess the fear I have is just whether our owners, and let's be honest, our unproven hierarchy, and I include Vinay and Raul Sanyehi, they're still yet to prove what they can do yet. They've talked a good game so far. They've and they've made us a lot of promises is a bit strong. They haven't really made us any promises, but they've sold us the idea of what they're looking to do. It's up to them to get in, particularly Josh Kroenke's ear, and say, this manager needs investment. We need to be investing. 100 million can make you a top 3 challenging team, in my opinion. That squad is only 4, maybe 5 players off being a comfortable top 3 side, not a championship winning side. We are, what do you reckon, 5-7 years away from that easily. But we could, we could easily be a comfortable top 4, not challenging. We could be a comfortable top 4 team with several, with several lower caliber players brought in for the right money at the right times, and push out the people that are, dare I say, not good enough at this level. It's not just Mustafi. The other person that I need to scroll up to find who said this, but somebody said about Pablo Sarabia. Who was it who mentioned that name? It would have to be the hardest name. Billy Quit Festerin. He said Pablo Sarabia should be somebody the club needs to target fast. Completely agree with that. Unai Emery managed him at Sevilla. He's been absolutely different level this year, and he's a classic example of that sort of player, that he's just below the level that the Pablo Sarabia. He's a Spanish kind of cam. He's kind of like a Mesut with pace, plays behind the front 2, or the front man, and pulls the strings for Sevilla. And Mr. Boblek said Pablo Fornals at Villarreal. There's another one. Villarreal might even get relegated. So there's a picking pool if you want one. They've got a Nigerian lad as well. What's his name? Is it Chunkawu? You'd never pronounce it if I can't. Him. They've got a Nigerian lad at Villarreal who's mustard as well. So yeah, there's a few. And sadly, no chance of Lo Celso. He's signed on a permanent for Betis, and they've got him for a steal. But we just got to be. We've just got to be Chukwu. That's the guy. We've got to be ruthless this summer. Thank you, Michael Hernandez. Thank you for the bits there, sir. US dollars $2.99. Some fans don't want to qualify for champs. Your thoughts?
Some fans don't want to qualify for Champions League. Why? Well, I suppose you don't want to go and get Bayern Munich 5-1, 5-1.
I don't know. They were always highlights. the good old days, the banter era. I don't know. What do you think?
You've got to take the beatings. If you want to become a world-class boxer, actually, fuck boxing, if you want to become a world-class MMA fighter, then you've got to take some beatings on your way to the top to becoming good. Unless you're, even the Irish bloke, what's his name? I can't remember.
Conor
McGregor. He took some beatings on his way there. No one's undefeated. So if you want to become a good team, you've got to get in, mix it in with the big boys. There's no point in us going away on a wet Thursday afternoon in Bate Borisov yet again. How are you going to learn anything from that? You're not, are you? You're not going to better yourself.
Well, who would have thought?
Steamrolling those teams. Our apathy was the only thing that was stopping us from winning every game so far.
If I'd have said to you at the start of this season, the semi-final of the Champions League will have Ajax in it, you'd have laughed.
Yeah.
Now, if I said to you now, name me 5 Ajax players. Well, not now. If I'd have said at the start of the season, name me 5 Ajax
Because
players.
they all fucked off, didn't they?
Exactly. Or not so much name the players, but name me 5 Ajax players that at this stage of the season, we'd all be saying, Jesus, Barcelona, Real Madrid are queuing up for De Ligt, Frankie de Jong, Danny Van der Beek.
Shows what one season can do.
Yeah, but you wouldn't, would you? You wouldn't. You'd never have pulled Ajax. Who'd have said that Monaco would have got to the semi-final 3 years ago with that side? Who could have named? Obviously, I could because I was watching them every week. But people who weren't watching French football, who could have named the Mbappe, Lamar, Sidibe, Fabinho, Subasic? How many people could have named all those players and said, yeah, they'll be a Champions League semi-finalist? Look at the side we got to a Champions League final with. It had a Boué and Flamini in a back four, for Christ's sake. Senderos.
And a baby Cech.
Yeah. I mean, it was all about momentum, and it was all about, the coming together of a good group who got, we took our beatings at times, but we had a team collective, didn't we? And we can get that back. We can get that back. But I'm a great believer that it filters. It's not just the owners; it filters all the way down from the very top of the club, all the way down the levels. And the positives right now are that our youth team. Congratulations to them. Our women's, congratulations to them. The stuff that they're doing at that level. I think in Per Mertesacker we've got probably one of the biggest signings we've ever made at that level of our club, because he's just such an impressive bloke. When you hear him speak about what he's planning to do with the recruitment of the younger players and how he wants to mould the professionals of the future at Arsenal, we're really well set up in that department. And that's the first time I can honestly think that we've had a really positive youth set up for years, going back to before our time, Danny, I think.
That's moved me on lovely to the next thing I want to quickly cover. A bit of cheer, people.
Yes, let's do that.
Right, congratulations to the Arsenal ladies. They have won the Women's Super League. We've won it with 1 game to go. 4 points clear of Man City, who we play in our final game of the season at home on Saturday, 12:30 kickoff. We think the weekend's game, I think we broke the record of 2,500 people turned up. 50,000 people should turn up for that.
It's awesome, yeah.
We were runners up to Man City in the League Cup. We lost on pens after a 0-0. We won the Golden Boot with Viviane Miedema, scoring 22 in 19. That's amazing.
She got Player of the Year as well, didn't she?
She certainly did, yeah. And the under-18s, they won the under-18 Premier League. Well, it was between us and Spurs for most of the season, and we were 4 points ahead of Spurs. We won it by 4 points. Spurs were 3-1 up at half time, and then ended up losing 4-3.
They didn't bottle it, did they, Danny?
I think they did bottle it. Excellent. We won our last 9 games in a row, scoring 41 goals in 9 games. We scored 86 in 22 league games all season. And again, top goal scorer, Florian Balogun, 25 goals in 19 games. Absolutely stunning. Now that I'm going to come back to the 18s in a minute. And the under-23s, remember, people, the under-23s were ravaged by our first team because of injuries, because of the Europa League, because of players going out on loan. And we still managed almost to be, actually, I'm going to go and I think Brighton are possibly playing right now, and if Brighton don't win, then we are going to be runners-up in the... No, it's Friday. Never mind. Can't go and have a look at that. There's 1 game left to go. We've played all of our games. Everton have won the league. We won it last year. Brighton have to win to finish second. Anyway, so we're the league's top goal scorers with 48 goals in 22 games. We've had the most of the team stolen for the Europa League group games. Eddie Nketiah, right, has been on our bench most of the season because Welbeck's been injured. When he did play for the under-23s, 9 goals in 10 games. Now, we only lost the league to Everton by about 4 or 5 points. And so imagine if you had Nketiah playing all season for the under-23s, we would have walked that league. And, so that's that bit. But the thing that is talking about Ajax, maybe think of Arsenal. Right, go to our under-23s. We've got 6 goalkeepers, 5 are English. And the other one is Latvian, maybe? I don't know. I kind of what
is that Iliev?
Clean. I know Iliev is Macedonian. I'm on about the under-18s.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, the under-18s. And then it says, I'm going by who's scored. I'm soccer way, so these positions are a bit off. Like it's got in defence, Sam Greenwood, 10 goals in 21 games. He's a striker.
He's a forward. Yeah, I thought he was, yeah.
Anyway, so it says that we have got 1, 2, 3. We've got 7 defenders. Well, 2 of the 5 are English, 1 Spanish, 1 Irish. Midfielders, it says we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18,
all
19
the midfielders.
of them, and all 18 out of the 19 are English. 1 is Polish. And then up front, 4 players, 3 are English, 1 is Irish. And I could go and change that around and put the right players in the right position. But the gist of that is the vast majority of our players coming through are English. And English, us English, we don't like to travel, do we? They're not going to go to Barcelona. They haven't got Barcelona DNA. And as much as it was enigmatic of Wenger and oh la la to go and sweep up all the French and the German and the Spanish and no Italians though, and all these African players and all these Eastern European mysteries. And go, oh, one day there'll be oh no, they've been shit. We've let them go on a free transfer to Bristol Rovers or Bristol City, or we've loaned them out to a conference team. No, that's not happening anymore. The under-18s have won the league. The under-18s are then going to be moving into the under-23s. Then the under-23s are going to be even stronger. And the part-time players that aren't even English, that aren't want to go. Nothing against players that aren't English. Some of our best players ever have not been English. The point is, if you want to build a solid core like Ajax do, they get the players in at the bottom. They, at a young age, they work them all the way through. Some of the players at Arsenal, like there's the goalkeeper. He is. I did a tweet about it the other day. I'm going to mess his name up. He's only 17 years old. Arthur Okonwo. He is 17 years old. He has played 6 games for the under-23s. Oh, no, he is 4 games for the under-23s and kept 3 clean sheets. He's 17 years old.
He's like 6'5" as well, isn't he? That's like ridiculous.
England under 15, 16 and 17 international. These are the kind of people that are coming through, whether they're taking citizenship and they came here as a kid. He's been at the club since he was 7 years old. This is the future of our club. We're not going to have to go and do what Man City are doing and spunk £100 million on a player. These could be, if they're nurtured properly, like you were saying with Per Mertesacker and with Freddie Ljungberg. We've said for so long, you go back and listen to the old podcast, what do we want? We want ex-Arsenal players involved at the club. We've now got ex-Arsenal players, and it'd be nice if his son is playing for Chelsea.
Ampadu.
Yeah, Kwame Ampadu. He went off to Monaco with Henry. It'd be nice if he came back in some form, not taking over from Ljungberg, because Ljungberg's doing a great job. But this is something to look forward to, people. You watch over the next 4 or 5 years. You look. Death Row, Smith Death Row.
Death Row Records.
From nowhere to play for the first team. I mean, I knew he was coming through because I read all George Bird stuff. That's where I get all my information from. And like that young wonder bloke who's playing out in Germany, who Josh hates, who says he's rubbish.
Reece Nelson.
Yeah, we've got so many of these young players coming. There's no more of our players, young players, going on loan to Dutch second division teams. You look at who's the bloke who's
Dan
on
Crowley.
loan? Oh, super Dan Crowley. Fucking, he's probably
He went to Holland, didn't he, for a while? Yeah.
But we've got one on loan at the moment out at Benfica, Porto B.
Willock. No, not Willock. He went on a permanent, didn't he? Oh, God, yeah.
I should know his name. I used to read it out.
I know the one you mean.
Yeah.
But anyway.
What is the point in going to, here we go, loans out. Where has he gone? Kalichi Nawakali.
What
the hell is the point in going to the Portuguese second division? And Matt Macy, poor bloke, he's getting hammered. He just let 5 in at the weekend for Plymouth, who just sacked their manager. And so...
That happened, does it?
Yeah, they sacked him.
Oh, I live here and I didn't know that.
2 games to go in the season.
Oh, what a waste.
So my gist is, I could go on about this for ages, but the gist is, this is something we've got to look forward to. Remember back in the day when me and Kris we get fizzing nuts when we start thinking about the Paul Davis, Mickey Thomas, Perry Groves, and all these young players come. Well, we bought Perry Groves from Colchester, but yeah, and all of that lot coming through, Kevin Campbell and Tony Adams, Martin Keown, although he left and then came back again. This is what the core of what made Arsenal our club. We had young British players playing for us that came all the way through, and they knew what it was to be an Arsenal player. They didn't come in at the age of 17, get chucked in the reserves and go, I've been here 5 years, see you later, I'm going off to Barcelona or Real Madrid or any of that. We've had too much of that, and hopefully that's ended.
Yeah, I mean, you've literally covered everything there. I couldn't add anything to that. I think like you said, I mean, it's going to be an interesting summer for the club. We've got the US tour as well, which is new ground for us. Well, I say new ground. We have played there before, of course, but we're going to be one of the the major clubs in that part of America, which is a great opportunity. We've got obviously the new kit deal with Adidas to oversee as well, and then hopefully there'll be a large change around in the squad. And
who was the bloke who last won the league? Who was an Englishman? It was at Leeds. Howard Wilkinson.
Howard Wilkinson, yeah.
So that would have been the first
94?
season of the Premier League.
Yeah, 93, 94. Yeah. So I mean,
been asking.
It's a long old time, but yeah. I mean, I hope for calm in the summer. I hope for measured, sensible responses. I really hope we're doing our due diligence now in terms of getting, in players' ears and having a word with agents and getting. I want us to be getting some of our business done early, which to be fair, we have usually been pretty good at. So yeah, I'm cautious. I'm optimistic because I always am optimistic. But I do need to do a plug, Danny, before we go any further.
I'm still taking a breather from that thing, bloody hell.
That's all right.
I'll just be smiling, man.
I'll just
done in a minute.
I'll just do a little plug in that case then. This people just want you to take a look at this. You see that? Yeah, for the benefit of the people that are watching it, that is nothing. Thin air, nothing, no notes, no plan, no set list, no menu, nothing. No, me and Danny have just turned up tonight
for
your viewing pleasure. Literally no plan, no schedule. We are here.
Stuff about who's won what, but that was it.
Well, that's about it, yeah. And, I had a word with the cat for 5 minutes, but that's it. We had no plans. So we are here for your entertainment, your viewing pleasure, or to just be mocked by you all. I mean, either way. But 88 of you are sat there right now. 88 of you, 87. I just put someone off. Damn it. 87 of you are watching. 35 thumbs up. In the immortal words of Jason Davies, tappy, tappy. You know what to do. You know what to do. All right.
You're so good at accents.
We don't get. I'm really not. We don't get paid for this. We are just two schmucks sat here talking nuts. That rhymes. But no, seriously, we appreciate. It was very good. We appreciate every one of your taps, and yes, it makes Jay smile on the inside, and it makes us smile on the outside, and all that's in between. So yes, if you do like what we're doing, then tap the thumbs up. Don't tap the thumbs down. See, there's always got to be two to ruin it. That was you, wasn't it? That was you, wasn't it? You did. Oh no, there's one thumbs down now. That's somebody's got. Oh no. Dear. Whoever did that, honestly. Anyway, no, we're not going to beg it, but if you do like what we do, obviously give us a thumbs up and share it with your friends, or if you think we're terrible, share it with people you don't like. Ruin their day. It's fine.
And Yumi Bash, there's a couple of people that have joined us.
This is the one thing I love about doing these shows, which grant hasn't been as regular for me this year, I'm afraid. But
you've been a busy man. You are going full Lawrence Llewellyn Bowen, aren't you?
I don't know about that.
You've got a blue bathroom, for fuck's sake. Well, blue or purple?
Purple.
Jesus.
Sparkly wall. But yeah, there's always new names. There's always new people. It's awesome. It's really, really fun to see. So thank you.
Yeah, for years, like Stefan and Nikki, and yeah, they even
the crew.
Not
Thunder Road's been there trolling me ever since day one. I love him.
I'm not going to read that
out. but yeah, and if you're listening to this on Acast or whatever else we're on, SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, any of those, if you don't realise by now, you probably do, but we are doing this live. We're on YouTube, so you can actually watch us, you can view us, you can laugh at us, and all that good stuff. So yeah, we'll do that. We're probably going to stick around for a little bit, aren't we?
Please, Danny, give us a Jason Davies impersonation. He's paid us to do that.
There you go.
Hey, you bastards. I want the thumbs up. I like you do it. I've gone all weird there. Thumbs up. Come on, tappy.
It started sort of averagely and then went worse as it went on. That didn't it? Really?
Oh, cheers, Michael. We don't ever make money donations from the live shows. This is something quite strange. I
tell you what, yeah. Right. Hold up, yeah. I tell you what, right. While we're here, you want an impression, Jason Davies? I'll give you one, right. Michael Hernandez, he's put money in the box, right. He's paid us to do an impression, and you come out with that shit. Danny, you should be bloody ashamed of yourself. Terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Hey, laddie, my tongue is got fleas.
That's the best you're going to get. That's the best you're going to get.
I can do a perfect Irish accent, though, because my mum's Irish.
Well, yeah, but you should be able to.
Yeah, I can do that for hours.
Honestly.
Just keep calling things a yolk. I'm going to put the yolk in the yolk, and then I'm going to go and get some more yolk, and then put that with that yolk and put it up there in the yolk.
This has gone off a cliff, hasn't it?
When my mum and Sean went to Ireland a couple of years ago, and Sean said to her, hold on, you've called that a yoke a cupboard? Yeah. You've called that a yoke a cup? Yeah. You've called that a yoke a sink? Yeah. You can't call everything a fucking yoke, but they do.
Also, Mr. Hollick has just put me straight. He said Jason is not from Karachi. Yeah, I did go a little bit Chinese there. I apologise.
Smith Rowe's injury this season has put him back one. I think he's the real deal, but we'll have another year out on loan. Bad timing with Rambo going.
Yeah.
Good Dave, can you put a link to your thing in here? To your blog in here, because you can, because no one's been putting. If I said to people you can put links in there, but I've got it ticked on no spam. But someone was spamming us with their shitty website.
You don't need to link. You just tell Google Goonerholic, and that good stuff comes up.
Yes,
everyone knows where to find the good man stuff.
Richard Garrett, Welsh Chinese.
It did go a bit Chinese there. Sorry. The key with accents is you've got to have something pre-prepared to say. If you just freeform it, it gets harder and harder to stick at it. You've got to have a sentence to come out with, otherwise it just starts going off.
Isn't it? Yeah. Luke Tippler has said he's given us a thumbs up just for the the thumbs down has gone. Oh, you cheeky monkeys.
Oh, beautiful. See, we've talked them round. Watch 10 thumbs downs come through now.
South African accent.
And I want to know how many of our chat box, seeing as we're allowed to talk about whatever we want tonight, I want to know how many of our chat box, how many of you are FIFA players, how many of you are playing, and how many of you are amazed at the fantastic new content that we got today after 4 days of no content was a kit.
I've got FIFA 19 now. A bloke on God Manchester Living was flogging it. I bought it for 15 quid.
There you are.
I haven't even bloody played it.
Well, you need to play it, Danny.
He hasn't.
There you go. You need.
I played 4 games of it.
See, look, Jackosaurus is playing right now. Ryan plays. Fuck player Arsenic Gooner. Archie prefer this FIFA. See, there you go. Pala playing right now. See, we are the soundtrack to their FIFA. PlayStation users, you can add me if you like. I can't promise I'll play you, and if I do play, I will be terrible. But you can add me if you wish. But yes. Good. We are planning to do another pod, which we're gonna have our Pro Clubs crew on, I think, for that one. So that's Steph and Ellis and Josh. And is there another one, or is there another one? Danny, help me out here. Damn it. We do have a Pro Club ABW Arsenic Gooner.
That's Jack's Twitch there, people. Go and give him a follow. He's really good.
Lovely job. We do have a Pro Clubs team, Arsenic Gooner. If you hit up Stefan or Ellis Mel or Josh Daw, they will tell you where to find it.
Very harsh. You will not get in there unless you are good, which is why he won't even let me play fullback.
So just explain to me, why do you not play it, Danny, till this stage? Because you only buy it when it's cheap.
No, I won't pay for it because I'm shit at it. I'm worse than you. I'll get angry with it. So I bought it for 15 quid. The bloke I bought it off hadn't played it because I looked at it and there's no fingerprints on it. So 15 quid, took home, played it. First thing I noticed is the inability for my team to pass to each other. Is that a new thing?
No, that's user error, Danny. That is.
It's not.
No, the gameplay is questionable at best. All the
Welbeck
glitches.
a LW.
Yeah, I know. But then, do you know what bugs me is when people buy the best players in the game and then they convert their positions just so they can fit them in the team. Like the amount of players that I play in the weekend league that have got Cristiano at left CDM, and it winds me up. It's like, no, that's not right.
Limited that to how far you could move them all.
Yeah, you can't convert a centre back to a striker.
I think in the very first Ultimate Team, you could do that. Loads more freedom.
Yeah, they've. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, they've. The menus are brilliant. They've made a brilliant menu system this year, but unfortunately, they've let career mode rot. The journey's dead, and FUT as a whole is. It's just the gameplay is just painful.
You said to me when I messaged you and said I've got it. You said, "Can you really be bothered to grind all that way now?" But the thing I found. Because when you first get it, you want to get all the Arsenal players, and there's only one of each Arsenal player, so everybody wants them now. They brought out newer versions of all the Arsenal players, so I'm picking up Koscielny for 800 quid.
Yeah, 800 coins.
I've played 5 games so far and won them all.
Well, there you go. You're not a wizard though. OG is the only wizard. Mr. Hollix just said, fair play both. Live is tough. 24 minutes from Ajax away win. Now you can listen to the commentary when the Stars finally do pack up. Oh, wait, you're going on. Yes, I feel like we should keep talking to the end of this game because I feel like if we go off the air, we might jinx it.
Questions yet?
So,
that's 2 hours.
Well, let's do that then. If we've got 24 minutes of, what have we got? 20 minutes of the Spurs game left. So let's do 20 minutes of questions. That seems like a perfect finale.
I'm putting in my Xbox username. Unless I know you, much like Twitter, I only follow people that I've podcasted with, or that I know, or if you're a journalist, because I'm not one of those people that follows 1,000 people.
Do you want to put mine in as well?
You can put it in.
Oh yeah. Whoops! I always forget I can chat in here. But I'm on PS4. So
if anybody knows, there's a bloke who keeps messaging me on Xbox and sending me messages. Mate, if you're listening, I cannot message you back because it says I've got to authenticate my Xbox. I go to the PC, I log in, I authenticate, and then I go back to it. It says still can't do it. And I can send you text messages, but I can't send. No, I don't even think I can send text messages.
Nobody wants to see those, Danny.
No,
you've been warned about those before.
And he says, why don't you reply to me? Well, I can't reply. But I've just bought myself a 58-inch TV for the bedroom. So I'm tempted to buy a new. It's only 360 quid for 58-inch 4K telly. Shut up. It would be like they're in the room with me. Who? No one. I don't mean anyone in the room with me.
And people say Arsenal don't market themselves well. You've just sold us a TV there. Right. Questions. What have we got? Let's do questions.
Is Ferland Mendy?
No, Ryan, unfortunately, because he's a very, very, very good left back and he's going to cost an awful lot of money. He's a very viable player in terms of ability. He's a wonderful left back, but no, sadly, I fear we'll be priced out of that one.
Are there many people who, like me, play FIFA with PES controllers? That shows how long I was playing PES before FIFA.
Wow, that's old school, that is.
Alternate controls. Anyway, questions, right. So
if you've got any you want to put to us in the box, stick them in. We'll do our best as well.
Yeah, so we've got about 6 here, and there's only 2 of us. We can both answer both of them. Kyle Palmer from Twitter. To show this team isn't as bad as we think, and a quick cathartic exercise, who would you make your all-time banter 11? I think we can't do an entire 11, but it's got to be Almunia in goal.
Yeah.
Boué right back.
Boué, yeah, it'd have to be, wouldn't it?
Sigan and
Sandaros. Oh, actually, no, Stepanov's Sigan. Yeah. Honourable mention for the batch from Chelsea, William Gallas.
Left back, would we go?
It's got to be Vivas. I mean, he was a right back, but you've got to get him in the team, haven't you, somehow? So
who do we have at right? Boué can play left back then.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, because Vivas was a killing machine.
Midfield.
We wanted him, and so he was sold to Lugano.
Oh, Andre Santos. That's a shout. Sorry, yeah.
Santos, if people go to Wikipedia, type in Andre Santos, then go on the left-hand side. I don't know if you know this, Chris, all the different versions of Wikipedia, especially if you go to the French one, it includes all the assists for all the players. The English one can do it. But then go to the Brazilian one and you go and have a look at Andre Santos, what he was doing before he was at Arsenal. He is a left-sided midfielder.
He is indeed.
20-odd goals in a season. So
we bought him with the intention of converting him, but it's really him. Somebody Barnes has just put Dennis Suarez. Harsh. Glenn Helder has got to be in that midfield.
He was a left winger.
Yeah. Stefan Maltz maybe in midfield somewhere as well.
The other one, Mendes Rodriguez.
Oh, Alberto Mendes Rodriguez,
from the German 9th division.
Who was actually really quite good apparently was it Patrick Vieira said he was one of the best players in training, full stop. The best Asian to ever play in the Premier League? No, not Heung-min Son. Inamoto, yes.
We only had him on loan, though, people, because they loaned him to West Brom after that. And then he went on to the World Cup in South Korea and Japan. And
he was really good.
3 or 4 goals.
Yeah, it was really good.
Playing with Consadole Sapporo in the Japanese J-League with our very own...
Podolski?
No, Podolski's at a different team with him. He came on the show with us, ex-Arsenal striker Jay Bothroyd.
Oh, Jay Bothroyd, of course he is.
Away from being runners-up in the J-League last season.
I think Dave's picked our strike force for us. Jefferson Park.
Who?
Jefferson Park.
Park we could get Jeffers to come on.
Because we could probably get Park to come on.
Okay, if people want to laugh, go to YouTube, type in Consador Sapporo, whichever is Jay Bothroyd's team, they bought a new player in the summer. And the first game of the season, he scored a goal. He went running, he scored it, and then went off to do his celebration, jumped over the hoarding, not realising it was a 10-foot drop the other side.
It's brilliant. It is absolutely superb. Somebody else actually asked, just on the same lines, just any excuse to do this. They did this on Askcast the other day. Most hated 11. That's always fun, isn't it?
Well,
I mean, John, are we talking like just Arsenal? Because I don't hate any Arsenal players because I'm nice. John Terry's in there, isn't he? Roy Keane, Ruben Horseface.
I love him now. If he was an Arsenal player, but
I can't get past. I mean, anybody that plays for Spurs, that's given.
We're basically going to list the entire Man United's team that stopped us doing the double for about 8 seasons in a row.
Yeah, that would probably be in there.
But now you look back, he was what a player.
There's some players as well that I just hate, and I don't really have a rational.
Ali, Sheringham,
the Pyramid Pennant. There's a few, isn't there? Who else dives a lot? Well, I mean, I think who do you hate at Spurs the most right now?
Oh, Harry Kane by a million miles.
Do you? See, I actually think I hate Son more than any of them.
Oh no, I think Son's
cunt.
I'm just seeing they've.
There's the first one of the night, everybody.
Irrational hatred.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, and it's not like before anyone goes off of me. It's not a foreign thing. I'm not being racist. It's something about it's just the way he plays and his diving and his cheating and the way that everyone seems to think he's so squeaky clean. No, he's not. He's a fucking little cheat.
I was asking Lossless, a mate of ours, that what happened, because Lossless is South Korean. I said, what happened that South Korea bailed on the Asian Cup, and how the hell did Qatar win it? And I said, was it corrupt? And I think he said yes.
Yeah, dodgy. Dave's just put their hate at Spurs. How long have we got? Yeah, fair point.
You can go back to the dark days, the black and white days.
Anyway, we've covered that one. Let's have another question, shall we?
Yes, I'm going to find James's message in a minute.
Handbags. Kieran Trippier is getting all. I think his mum's just told him he needs to be home for his tea.
Our mate Femsto, who's one we've been using a lot lately, says he's got really good questions. A lot of people turn their noses up at players lower down the table, but as we are witnessing, a lot would improve our squad. Given how City and Liverpool used the tactic to also weaken teams near them like us, what 3 players would you add from outside the top 6 to improve us?
Oh, that's a good one, isn't it?
And Man United outside the top 6. Yeah, oh no, they're 6th. I would like the bloke up front for Wolves.
Which one?
The Jimenez, the one with the 3 kicks.
Oh, Jimenez, yeah. Does it have to be realistic though? I mean,
anyone in any position. I like Ward-Prowse of Southampton.
Ward-Prowse, yeah, I like him. I must admit, I like him.
Burnley.
Jose Perez, we mentioned earlier, is a sleeping gem. I think he's a really good little player. I can't even think of teams in the Premier League. Can you?
Who astounds me every game. Fulham winger used to be at Liverpool from Barble.
Oh, good. Oh, God. Sorry, Ajax nearly got second. Oh, that's so close. Oh, that would have been game over. Fuck a duck. Oh.
West Ham haven't really got anybody out there. They've got Nasri, when he was playing for them, was magnificent. But...
I'll tell you, West Ham have got who I wouldn't mind a punt at, and that is
Rice.
Yes, Rice. Yeah, I'll be honest. I first saw him and I went, I'm not so sure. I think it's a bit overhyped, but the more I've seen him, he's a very, very good little footballer. Very good. Diop's another good shout as well. Former Toulouse.
Watford. No, Evan. Richarlison.
Nah.
He's 23.
He's a bit hot and cold though. He's one of those that plays when the sun's out. For me, I'm not sure.
Actually, waiting to happen as well.
Yeah. Wan-Bissaka's a shout. I'm not completely sold like many are. Yeah, I think there's a player in there. I'm just not sure about his actual defending, and given that he's a defender, that worries me a bit. Doucouré from Watford. Wow, yeah, that's a shout.
Who's that one? Deulofeu. He's another one doing brilliantly.
He's another classic example of a player who's performed brilliantly at a lower club but couldn't necessarily cut it top end. Doucouré is one I would definitely say though at Watford. Yeah, he's a shout. Zaha, no, I'd rather set my face on fire than him. Who, sorry?
Ake at Bournemouth.
I go back and forth on him. Technically he's very good, but I'm not sure he's the greatest defender. We're giving like 100 examples here, aren't we? But we'll just name every player in the Premier League until we find one we all agree on.
The Premier League's top assister is Fraser at Bournemouth with 13.
Well, he's the one, isn't he, that we're being linked with? I don't know.
It's been a while since I said Charlie Gilmore played for us this season. He's the first Scotsman to play for us, probably since Scott Marshall or Paul Dickov.
Scott Marshall, bloody hell, there's a name for the past. Yeah, Scott Marshall. He was a centre half, wasn't he?
Didn't you? When we say that, we mentioned these names because he was I think he used to go and watch the reserves, and he'll know who Scott Marshall was.
I remember watching Scott Marshall play for Arsenal in a 2-0 home win against Newcastle in 1996. I want to say. I think from memory, Stephen Hughes was in that lineup as well. There's another name from the past, but yeah, big Scott Marshall. I think he scored a header in a cup game once as well. I seem to remember.
And he went on to join Tony Adams at Wickham.
Didn't he play for Coventry as well for a while? Was it Coventry, or am I imagining that completely? I'm probably imagining that.
Scott Marshall, can have a look at Soccer Base. They do it all.
Yeah. Just going down this memory lane trot, boys and girls.
Because there's no one here to tell us not to.
No, exactly.
Arsenal, Rotherham loan, Oxford loan, Sheffield United loan, Southampton free, Celtic loan, Brentford loan, Brentford bought him, Wickham.
Oh, okay, not Coventry then.
2004. I think he might actually list the games that he played for. God, go back in. You reckon it's about 96, 97?
I'm sure all the fans of Scott Marshall are enjoying this piece of the podcast.
Southampton.
Say again?
Who did you say you saw him play against?
Newcastle. We won 2-0, I'm sure. I'm pretty sure we won 2-0. I think it was 1996.
I'm just looking at that one now.
I think it was 96 or 95. It was that era. It was in the
23rd of March 1996. Arsenal 2, Newcastle 0.
There you go. I don't forget these things.
It says it's loading. The goal scorer.
Didn't he score?
I don't know.
I think he might have scored. And I think the other one was
the wrong button.
I think John Hartson might have got one as well.
Marshall, 3rd minute. Ian Wright, 17.
Ian Wright. There you go. Yeah.
Played?
What? Sorry.
Did you say played?
What? Who did I say play? Stephen Hughes.
No, Hughes didn't play.
Glenn
Helder did.
Glenn Helder did. Yeah, good old Glenn.
Against Faustino Asprilla, David Ginola, Ferdinand.
Yes, Beresford and Batty. Yeah, all those.
Warren Barton.
Warren Barton and his big bowl haircut.
Philippe Albert, who has the best song in football.
Oh, yes.
Philippe Albert, because everybody knows his name.
Scored that wonderful chip over Peter Schmeichel back in the day, didn't he? Oh, the days.
He's too young. Right, get on with it.
Anyway, get on with it. Get on with it. Another question.
Chris. Can you find similarities between the White Walkers and PSG? Do you watch Lord of the Rings?
No, I'd rather set my face on fire.
It says White Walkers and PSG both have failed to live up to expectations once again, despite astronomical investment and seemingly unlimited resources of the dead.
Hard to argue.
Jim Howson. Rumour has it we are close to securing a director of football, Zubizarreta and Edu, while Robert Perez has thrown his hat in the ring. Who would you choose? I'd go Edu. He's had experience with it with Corinthians and now Brazil.
Yeah, heart says Bobby, head says Edu. Yeah, I think, to be honest, I think Bobby. If Bobby Perez said, "Lads, I need $4,000 a year to just come in, smile, and leave every day," I'd say that's absolutely fine. Where's the pen?
Told me he was a baldy and he's had a weave put on.
Yeah, he might have had a little bit of hair work, bless him, but I can't really talk.
Bugs.
No, but he's just a wonderful human being, and he can do whatever the fuck he wants at Arsenal. So, but no, I think Edu he's done the job, hasn't he? So, Zubizarreta
wasn't he a goalkeeper for Spain?
He was, and he's at Marseille, or was at Marseille, to mixed reviews. I think it's fair to say that almost rhymes. Yeah, I think I like the idea of somebody who's at least had something to do with Edu. At least had something to do with Arsenal, like Edu. Somebody who knows a little bit about the club, a bit about the history. And I'm not saying Zubizarreta wouldn't do his research and whatnot, but
we want to get old. Oh, hello, nice Dora. Want to get old Arsenal players back at the club.
Yeah,
like it's worked so well with Mertesacker and Lundberg. We just need more.
And also, Edu potentially opens the South American a bit more as well, doesn't it? So there's a lot of talented players over there at the moment.
Right. Noir Confidential. It used to be a trait of Klopp's teams that their form would drop near the end of the season because his style requires a lot of energy. He killed a load of players. Since Emery's training sessions are more intense, do you think our recent form is a similar case and it just takes some getting used to?
Yeah, I think so. Do you? I mean, I don't think that's an unfair thing to say. Do you?
Because we have weren't our players training twice a day when Emery came?
Yeah,
And learning the system and players out injured, and
he did. Yeah, he did double sessions for a while, didn't he? Because that's the other thing as well. When did he? See if you can Google. What date was he appointed last year? Because I seem to think it was in August. Am I completely bonkers to say that?
I don't know.
It was after the World Cup, wasn't it?
Unai Emery. And he was appointed at Arsenal. It's 2018.
Because this is another thing that people have
2018.
When? Sorry.
May.
Was it really?
Very early, which is why he got so much done.
Because I was just going to say he hasn't had the benefit of a free summer. He had the, I thought he came in after the World Cup last year. I'll be honest, but
when did the season finish in France last season?
Early May, because it finished up because of the World Cup, didn't it? So we were all finished at start of May, weren't we? Because I for some reason I had it in my head that he came in August. I don't know why. That's ludicrous, but yeah, I mean, but he's going to have a summer this summer where he's not going to have to worry about a World Cup and getting players. Because am I right in saying that we didn't get a lot of our players back? I say
some missed a couple of games of the season, didn't they?
Yeah, the ones who went to. So we're talking what Xhaka. Who went to the World Cup?
Last game for PSG was on the. Oh, fuck it! No, I'm reading it wrong. I think it's gone to the wrong.
It must have been the Coupe de France final, or was it? No, it would have been the league game.
Here we go. PSG. Where does it stop?
Well, that's a good question. PSG. Where does it stop?
I'm not looking at him. I'm looking at their season. So it's going to have to be sometime in the middle of 2018. Yes, I was looking at the right bit. Was the League One? They drew 0-0 at home to Caen on the 19th of May. 4 days later, he was announced our manager.
Okay, but he'd already announced he was leaving PSG way earlier than that. So I suppose that makes sense.
The 8th of May was the final year on about.
And how many players of ours went to the World Cup? That's the other thing. Again, for some strange reason, it feels like more than I realised went. They obviously didn't. It was obviously Xhaka did.
Jay's getting annoyed in the summer because we had to do he said, I wasn't ready to do live shows and transfer signings. They meant to be done in the 1st of September, not in bloody June and July.
All of those players that were. So I mean, maybe we've got that summer to we've got the summer without the distract. Maybe the biggest thing about a World Cup year as well is it's so hard to get signings done when players are off of their countries. Because didn't we sign Torreira while he was on international duty? Wasn't that being done?
Yeah, we were still playing at the World Cup before the World Cup because after that World Cup went, thank God we signed him before the World Cup because now he's a 40, 50, 60 million pound player.
Yeah, that's it. Because it was announced after the World Cup, but it was kind of done, wasn't it? Before we all knew that he was coming. Yeah. So I mean, at least this summer we've got potentially the time to. Again, I would be amazed if we're not doing some sort of business now. Surely.
Yeah, I think we've learned from the mistakes of previous.
But then we are still a club without a sporting director. We are it is a bit jobs for the boys at the moment, isn't it? Like, where Vinay and Raul are kind of job sharing a job that isn't even their own. And it is a little bit slapdash, isn't it, really? Huntelaar is indeed on, yes. Right, 3 minutes.
From Nicky Wilson. Do you ever get sick of football? The papers and radio winding everyone up. Adrian Durham, you tit. The commentators and Sky pundits slagging everybody off, apart from Spurs and Liverpool.
Of course.
For ages, I'm adding those bits. For ages, I've been watching all the games with the volume off and playing music. Other than ABW and the magnificent, I added that, Arsecast, I just can't be asked anymore. I am feeling your pain. I don't watch anything really unless it's Arsenal.
I don't even watch the build-up now, do you? I don't even watch
turn the game on as soon as it starts, turn it off as soon as it's finished, and turn on our stuff and watch that.
In fact, controversial, I can't remember the last time I watched Match of the Day.
No, I have it on, and then I just know all they're going to do. Unless Ian Wright's on there, is the only one there worth listening to. But you got trolls like that fat Danny, whatever his name is.
Chris Sutton.
Chris Sutton. Don't the BBC look at stuff like, not necessarily ours, but people like Simon, Matt and Fifey, magnificent, eloquent talkers that even you're really good. Why can't
but we didn't have professional careers, did we? So we can't get on these things.
I don't want to listen to those. I don't want to listen to Chris Sutton just being an arsehole the whole time, and Jason Mohammed, and they had Kirsty Garrett on. Oh, you're all fuck off, a lot of you.
But he's good at what he does, isn't he? It's like Savage.
Stuart Robson.
Oh God, don't mention that guy. No, he's just thick.
That's why I like Sport Radio, because they've gone and got the three people who, what was the name of the show they did? It's Dave and Giles and Harry and and the other person who's on there with them. They've gone, yeah, we're going to go and put out some content, and it's going to be from Arsenal fans, and that's really good. Wednesday, 7:30, Love Sport Radio. I've not listened in a while.
But... Oh, the one with Dave Sager and whatnot. Yeah. I know the one you mean. Yeah, he does on TalkSport. I just can't. I still love my football, and I still watch a lot of football from different parts of the world on a regular basis.
Spanish, Italian, French, German game all season.
I must admit, I haven't watched anywhere near as much Italian, Spanish, or German this season, mainly because life's busier this year. But I still follow my French. I do watch a bit of Championship. It's basically, since it's gone off Sky, I've lost interest.
Yeah, that was the problem. I can't be bothered to go and spend 5 minutes looking to see where I can find the game.
And I hate streaming. I can't watch games on delay. I can't do it.
Dave's nodding along furiously. You know what I mean, Dave?
But the whole concept that the match that I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I remember the days where I used to watch all the highlights programs for the weekend's action. Like there wouldn't be a week wouldn't go by without me watching every single goal from every league around Europe.
Sometimes so I was aware. You'd be doing shows or P-show, and you say, "Oh, I had 3 screens." Or you'd have your PC, your laptop, your TV.
Yeah,
all watching things.
Those days are a little bit behind me. A lot of it is time, but I think just the general interest in the Premier League in particular. I've not enjoyed watching a lot of Premier League football this year. There's been some really ropey games this year, and it's ironic. The one year that we've got arguably a proper title race, I couldn't give a toss either of the two win it. Obviously, I don't want Liverpool to win it because we'll never hear the fucking end.
God, no. I'd rather any team other than Spurs win the league than Liverpool. Imagine if those fuckers win it. Anyway,
I think there's also a part of it, us as Arsenal fans, we probably don't really want to indulge in the fact that there's a love-in with particularly that lot up the road, and Liverpool is probably the two most obnoxious clubs in the world ever for us to have to listen to pundits bang on about. If there's a weekend where Spurs are apparently amazing, I don't even listen to podcasts. So I'm like, I can't listen to that shit. Whereas tonight, I will tune in gleefully tonight to hear how wonderful Pochettino is and what a tactical genius he is and how fucking amazing they are. Although I shouldn't jinx it because there's a minute to go. But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, some comments. Yemi says Game of Thrones, not Lord of the Rings. Benares says Aspria, what a player. Stefan Silby, isn't immigration still after Edu for his dodgy passport is what he means.
Him and Silvino, yeah.
Talking of dodgy streams, Liam, you know what I'm talking about. You smell what I'm cooking. Liam says, do you think Emery is significantly superior manager than Benitez?
Benitez. Not superior, but similar.
Yeah. Both Spanish waiters, as our very own Mr. Holick has put, the successful genius that is Pochettino has replaced his fullbacks at 1-0 down with 10 minutes left in this Champions League home leg semi-final. Please don't come back to bite me. Good old Holick.
They're having a lovely time, the Ajax fans. They are having a delightful time in the toilet bowl that is this new wonderful super stadium.
Round of the Antonio, the West Ham bloke, doing that
brilliant,
and then squatting down doing shit on the stage,
shoving his cock in the face of all Spurs fans. It was delightful.
Salah is a new person I've not seen before. We should go all out for the centre back Ibrahima Konate of Red Bull Leipzig, not Red Bull, Rasenball Leipzig, and Dan Axel Zagadou from Dortmund.
Ajax have won. Woohoo! And that's my cat's tail.
How can this be? No, like Brexit, I demand a redoing because Spurs can't lose at home. Not back-to-back 2 games in a row in their invincible stadium without scoring a goal either time.
No,
what is going on?
Who'd have thought? We got a Gillingham fan in the box as well. That's rare. Hello to you, sir.
I don't watch the BBC as a rule. Formerly knows it says Pat Nevin is awfully neglectful. Here's a new person. Oh, Santiago says Ian Wright is a terrible pundit. You, sir, or madam, you need to go in the naughty corner and have a think about what you've just typed. Ian Wright is an absolute brilliant.
And he's very good at what he does.
He's a lovely man. And I bet he smells faintly of Old Spice. Oh, no,
you can't win as well unless you come on and go, I love Arsenal, I love Arsenal, I love Arsenal every week, which he does. He does do a fair bit, but he is also unbiased. There's a difference between, dare I say it, someone like Paul Merson, who, in my opinion,
absolute cock,
just a bit of a knob, and to a degree, even Tony Adams has been a bit of a cock over the years, talking about Arsenal, who are clearly a little bit bitter about how things ended for them. And Ian Wright, who is just generally, on the whole, quite measured. Gary Neville's as biased as buggery about Man United, but he also speaks a lot of good sense. So it's just, how many Arsenal fans would have said they liked Gary Neville's punditry 10 years ago? We all hated the guy. So whereas now, I don't think Wright does a bad job. I think people are just a bit oversensitive sometimes. If you cut Ian Wright in half, Arsenal would fall out. That's good enough for me.
TFC HD. Why have Arsenal been so dismal on the road this season?
How fucking long have you got?
This season, though, is it? We're better than we were last season.
Yeah, exactly. And that's my argument when people say we haven't improved. We have.
The McManus. Let's see if the Spurs Wankfest still goes on after tonight's show.
Just composing a tweet as we speak. Yes.
Oh, here we go. Paul Alves. I'm trying to read people who I've not read out stuff from before. Paul Alves. Burnley will be a good centre back for us. I was watching him on Match of the Day this week, and he's up for it. Hyper fanatic. Why do you guys think the players wanting to prolong their Arsenal careers at the expense of challenging for top four?
Come again? Sorry, why does what?
Do you think? What do you guys think on the players wanting to prolong their Arsenal careers at the expense of challenging for top four? I suppose he means people like Monreal and Koscielny and people like that maybe could be moved on for players that are going to be more reliable.
Not sure.
Causing us to miss top four.
Not sure I agree with that. I think particularly in Koz's circumstance, I think Koz has just been absolutely magnificent to get arguably to even higher level he was than when he was injured previously. I think he's a better player now. So no, I don't.
Games in a row.
Yeah, I'm not sure I agree with that.
Right, Kieran, I've gone.
No, not to put down the gentleman's point. I just not sure I agree with that. But yeah,
no, I can see it, and I can see both sides. Frank's for Ian Wright as a YouTube channel. Do not watch it, people. It is an absolute. I'm sitting in my car and I talk for 6 minutes. I'm not interested in that. No, unsubscribed. Although he's a legend. Kieran, happy birthday. He says Ajax win on my birthday, so everyone say happy birthday to Kieran if you care, which is nice.
Happy birthday, Kieran. Yeah.
Richard Garrett. Should we upgrade the stadium like the toilet bowl and get them in? Should we upgrade?
I don't know
what that means, and get them in. I mean, get more people in. We've upgraded our stadium to an extra 1,000 seats, so our stadium is now going to be bigger than theirs. And there's nothing they can do.
Yeah, I was going to say there's nothing they can do. There you go.
Well, Benares says, do we think that Nketiah should start the last 2 league games? Benares, I'd let you start the last 2 league games for all I care about that. I don't really care. Dom Hayes says, shout me. I think Dom is on my... no, there's another one. Dom Lloyd. I've got a list of people who have donated, so they all get our gentleman's nod. Right, quickly go back to the questions. So where was I? I was updating that. Josh Robinson, it's quite possible that Chelsea will draw or lose 1 to Watford or Leicester. Is anyone still confident we will do? Chris mentioned this at the beginning of the show. He said he can quite easily see that happen. DAT, who is the other half of One Arm Bastard, who is arguing with us but sends in brilliant angry questions, she says... should I go to the Arsenal games here in the US this summer? Also, did anyone else realise how far away Baku is from everything? Yes, you should go. Lots of ABW in that area going. I say lots, a couple. Lots of our friends are going. And Baku is actually in the middle of bloody nowhere. It's
in Azerbaijan, isn't it? Yeah, Land of Fire, as the shirts of Athletic Madrid.
Question, Miko, the Suarez loan deal did more harm than good. We spent the whole of January bringing him in while neglecting other viable options that could have actually helped us during the top 4 run-in. How optimistic are you that we'll do any better this summer? I am very optimistic.
Yeah, and I don't think it could. Oh God, no! Don't say that, Kris. You'll be forever held to that. But I don't think it could get any worse than maybe the Czech summer, or yeah. I think my one hope is it's numbers over. No, that's wrong as well. When I say numbers over
quantity.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, no, I go the other way. I think
you want all the players.
No, I don't. I'm putting this really badly, aren't I?
Have a moment, take a breath.
I want more out, and then I want more in. I want a large turnover. That's the point I'm trying to make. I don't want us to. If we've only got 40, 50 million, which obviously we know is probably bollocks, but if we've only got a certain amount of budget, I don't want us to just lump all of our budget on one player, because I think this squad needs far more than people say. We need to go and get a Van Dijk. Yeah, that's great. Absolutely fantastic. Sorts the defence out a bit, or probably quite a lot. Doesn't change the fact we've still got a crap midfield and an iffy wide situation and iffy fullbacks and everything else, and no backup goalkeeper. So I want to see numbers this summer as well as quality. I want us to get, yet again, we say this every summer, get rid of the deadwood. Maybe clear out the last of Arsenal's sort of loyalists. Maybe that's a way to go, or not all of them, but some of them. And let's go fresh. That's what I'd like to see. I'd love to see us start next season with 5 new faces in the first team. That's what I'd like. But can't have it all, can we? This isn't FIFA.
I'm being trolled by a Keeb on WhatsApp.
Oh dear!
He sent me this. It's Homer Simpson.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see it. Can you?
What does it say?
It says it's Homer Simpson going, and it says, "Look at me! I watch Game of Thrones." We're in a WhatsApp group, rooting, shooting. There's quite a few of us in there, and we're all having a go at Keeb. Keeb. He doesn't like Game of Thrones. He's all about The Sopranos.
I must admit, I'm not a fan. Although my missus gives me a lot of shit for that. How can you not like Game of Thrones? Because I'm not 10. Oh, I went there. No, I'm just not. It's just not my cup of tea. I love aliens, so I'm still a nerd. You know.
On Monday night show, I actually forgot to breathe at one point. I went to shout, "Oh fuck!" and I couldn't because I hadn't breathed.
I'm a guy who hadn't seen Prison Break until the last 6 months, and I'm currently working my way through Dexter, which I'd never seen before.
Oh, hello! Don't watch the last. Don't do it to yourself.
What, the last 2 of Dexter?
The last episode. The last series, not season, people. It used to be called season because every season of the year you would have different shows. It's called a series, a sequence of events, one after the other.
He's off.
And saying like I went and bought this and then I saw that and this No, like means similar to or to enjoy. Stop fucking saying like when you don't mean similar to or enjoy, you fucks. Anyway. Series 8 or 9, don't watch it. Absolutely fucking kills it.
Series 8 and 9 of Dexter?
The last one, whatever it was, whether it's 8 or 9, I don't know how many they did. They ruined it. I love that show. You know, he's married to that woman. His sister.
What, in real life? He's married to his sister? What is this, an Arkansas podcast?
It's a Norwich. It's a Norwich Bergkamp Wonderland.
What, as in Deborah, the ginger girl?
Yes, he's married to in real life.
Is he really?
Cancer when they were filming it, and he didn't tell anyone had cancer, and they went off and secretly got married.
Well, bugger me.
Yes.
Anyway, I've just started watching it, so yeah.
This week's Fife's forum, I'll read it so we can type it in.
Yes, we should finish with this because otherwise people will basically kill us.
So we've gone full Joe Rogan. It's nearly 5 hours. I actually turned off a Joe Rogan last night because yet again it's him and a comedian mate going, "Oh, I remember this day. Oh, I remember that. No, Joe, you've done a comedy pod where you just talk about comedy history a million times. I'm not fucking interested. I want people to come on." Flat Earth, because the Earth is cube, not flat. It's not round. It's a cube. We are Borg. You know it. Right, Vice Forum. I put news reports suggest Petr Cech is going back to Chelsea when he retires to be the goalkeeping coach. If we make the final versus Chelsea, would you still play him? Because he has conflict of interest, Kris. What do you think?
Well, I'd probably play Leno anyway. First off, because he's probably our best goalkeeper. I'd put Cech in for the Premier League games and then put Leno in. But I wouldn't have any issue with Petr Cech's professionalism personally. No issue.
I don't want it. No. Much like if I was Chelsea, I wouldn't play Giroud up front against us because he is going to score own goals.
No. Honestly, I'd have no. I think Cech would be absolutely. He's a professional. There's no way any professional would. Well, maybe William Gallas, but other than that, no. He would be. he'd be fine. But I would play Leno if it was me personally, and I probably would now, with the top four sort of a bit hanging by a thread. I wouldn't be against playing Leno in every game for the rest of the season. Now, to be honest.
Thread.
With what?
Joe used to say that, hanging by a thread.
Hanging by a thread. I like meat.
Carla Lane.
You cut the thread.
Anyway, Daytac, she says, play Leno. He's better than Peta. True.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Palmer, whilst the skill gap isn't as huge as previous years, we don't seem to have a sentimental manager, so I'd play best 11 Leno for me. Our very own Steve Lord Hillwood says Cech is a lovely chap, Mr. Cech, but once you go to Racism FC, your choice, from choice, you aren't Arsenal, Mr. Leno, please. Femi says, I think Cech should be okay with a change in keeper at this stage, given the fact that last season he was switched for Ospina. Even though Ospina was promised cup matches, the future of the club needs Champions League football and he isn't part of the future. This is why Femi's so good.
It is. It's a good point. I really hope we go back to the one goalkeeper thing again next year, but we're not going to, are we? Let's be honest.
Save us 20 million quid, wouldn't it? Because we won't have to buy a backup. We get Martinez in.
Well, I think we should get Martinez back anyway. He's been brilliant at Reading, but I just think it's, I liken it to the level I coach at, and I think, Christ, my defence is bad enough without swapping the goalkeeper every other week. I just don't think it breeds particularly good continuity, and particularly when you've got a defence that includes Mustafi in it. I mean, we're changing the formation every other week, let alone the goalkeeper.
I'd imagine Mustafi, after the Wolves game when he went to training, he went, did he play against Wolves?
No, he didn't play against Wolves, he played against Leicester, didn't he?
And then he'd have been going after the Wolves game because he didn't play. Oh, look at that, it was nothing to do with me. And then we play the Leicester game and go,
shit.
Right.
To be fair, he wasn't actually that bad against Leicester. The rest of them were.
Reply. Our Ellis, #fuck Ellis, says,
fuck Ellis.
No, fuck him and his stupid hat.
Literally fuck him.
Oh, dear. And Mike from Mayank, he says just call me Mike from the live chat shows, who isn't here today. How dare you? There again, we didn't tell people we were doing it. I would definitely play him. He's a great professional, and I wouldn't expect next season to affect his performance. Plus, he's got us this far, and would be quite unfair to drop him at this stage.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
While I'm get yourself warmed up for a gentleman's nod, and I'm going to go and say as no one else has donated while we've been doing this, have they?
Not that I've noticed, no.
Righto. So a huge thanks goes to everybody from the last two live shows and tonight's show. So working backwards, Michael Hernandez twice, Jackosaurus, J-Rob, Ivona Coffer, Unique79, Dan Fry, Richard Morris twice, Blair Slater, Ryan Rundle, Dom Lloyd, Seatail, Ivona Coffer, and that covers everybody for the last two shows. Thank you very much, everybody. All the money that you've been donating after YouTube take their 30%, they're robbing. Bless them, they're wonderful people. Because they're listening. I've gone and bought the new PC. It'll be here Thursday with a new monitor. Hopefully going to buy Jason a new computer with the money that's left if he ever goes and bloody sorts it out. And yes, I noticed that my website has been shut down because the thing is the renewal fee hasn't been paid, and that's always a sign that R1's coming up soon because the DID doesn't always tell me. He just shuts it down because he's an evil, evil man, and he hosts all of them. So yeah, that's up for renewal soon. That's only, I think, 60, 65 a year, depending. He might put his prices up. Bit of a shitbag, doesn't like football. So who's your gentleman's nod to, Kris?
I was frantically trying to find one.
The man is there while you're thinking. Stephen Barr.
Yes.
Dan Fry. We just said hello to you, Dan Fry. They actually rang me today while Kris is looking down. I was going to go for the Asus Strix STRX or something like that, but that wouldn't fit in the case I want. And the case is more important than the graphics card, so you just put another equivalent 8 gig graphics card in there. But I won't be playing anything of the more than graphical value of My Life in Porsche, Football Manager 2019, and Hospital 2.0. So there you go. Stan, you've missed everything. You very bad man.
I found one, and there's another one I'll ask. Pedalo McManus. I know him off my Instagram mainly, but we chat regularly and like each other's pictures all the time. We're like two lovesick teenagers, us two. But yeah, he's always a good follow, and loves his Arsenal as well. He's been a fan of 30 years. At McManus, bollocks, at McManus Pedalo. So McManuspedalo. And also to Jackosaurus. Jack, sorry, I can't find a thing in the thing with your Twitch. Can you either DM or tweet me your Twitch thingy, and I'll do that as soon as we're finished because I've lost it in the chat stream. So yeah, Jackosaurus, can you send me that and I will follow you on Twitch, my lover. Thank you.
Right. If anybody wants a final nod, just type potato, and then DT is not a real gentleman. He's a tit. I've done a podcast with him. He doesn't even know his fucking Arsenal.
There you go. Jackosaurus has replied. Thank you, Jack.
Me and John Welsh were doing against DT in an Arsenal trivia quiz, and we were giving Colin Much, we were giving him answers so that he'd beat DT, and DT was getting really wound up about it because he doesn't know his Arsenal history.
He doesn't know anything, does he?
No, no, doesn't know.
Tommy's just decided to pop into the chat as well. There he is.
Dawes trying to jump up.
Just decided to come in and say hello before we go. So there he is. All right, Tom.
Someone's putting Spock Sizostkvi is putting stuff in. I imagine that's maybe Polish. No, don't put it in Polish, because then I'll have to go. Oh, Legia Warsaw is a nail club who does not believe it. Get him in the hole. I don't know what you're talking about.
He's having a lovely time.
Yeah.
Anyway, should we wrap this shit up?
Yes, the next show is going to be... No, we don't hate on AFTV. No, Robbie's doing a great job. And I do pods with Craig, and Craig's been on here. And yeah, they're all good. Let them get on with it. They're doing a good job of entertaining people. No hate from AFTV from us. Yes, this Thursday's show against Valencia after the game is going to be Josh is hosting, and John and Shredder. It looks like Jace is...
Shredder's on. Cool.
Yeah, he was. He changed it all. So he's definitely Valencia at home. It's Josh, John, and Shredder.
Yeah,
and then Brighton, John, Dom, and Jace. Oh, he's put me. I was looking for the word Jace. I thought I'm not on against that. Oh, I'm not me, am I? He typed it. Me is him.
It's a busy week for the arse and for ABW. Yeah.
To go in and I would say tune in, but there's not much tuning, is there? Type in, click appropriately for that show. We are nearly at 6,000 subscribers. Yes, I know PewDiePie gets that less than a second, but we are slowly growing. We've only been doing this for 6 seasons. That works out to be 1,000 subscribers a year. That's terrible, isn't it? So if you can go and give us an iTunes rating, that would be lovely, preferably a 5-star, but it doesn't really matter. And click and subscribe here. And what else? Go and buy yourself some Edgar David yellow glasses, and you too could look cool. What a player he was, wasn't he?
Oh, wasn't he just? Yeah.
Barnet, best London team he ever played for.
Yes, indeed, he did play for Barnet, didn't he?
Manager of Barnet. Oh, how did they pull that off? And they were shit.
A lot of luck, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, indeed. Right. Thank you very much for staying with us for this 90-minute podcast that has gone on now it's gone on so long that it's stuck at 1 hour 59. It's not going on any longer than that, even though we've been going a lot longer than that. So I don't know how long we've been. It's at least 2 hours, I think, maybe 2 and a bit hours. So yes, thank you very much for listening. Join us again on Thursday, straight after the game. And we have been a Bergkamp Wonderland podcast. Nanu, you cheeky monkey bitches.
Bet you're glad that's over, aren't you, boys and girls? Bye-bye.